Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for joining me again. This is KJ's What Happened, where we look back at the week, some of the stranger things. And sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's strange. It's a lot of things. Sometimes it's random. Anyway, I'm KJ. Thanks for being here. Moderators, thank you for being here as always. There's Chubbs sounding off, and now he's running away. Last night had a great show, 6-hour-long show. It was an open discussion. Anybody was welcome. I lucked out as I always do, it seems, and had great guests all the way through. But ever since YouTube demonetized this channel, I no longer get my uploads in full as soon as I'm done with a show. I miss those days. Now it takes them 1 to 2 days to fully upload everything. As of now, last time I saw, there's only 2 hours of the 6-hour show from last night uploaded at this time. So thank you for your patience on that. Same with this. We'll see if there's anything I do goes over 2 hours, you'll get an hour and a half of 2 hours, or if it's over 2 hours, you'll get the 2 hours, and then they give us the rest later. So, hey, what you gonna do? It's YouTube. I mean, at this point, as I always say, I'm glad I'm still standing at this point here. All right, hey, enough about me, enough about little Susan over at YouTube. Let's get started. There's a lot of stuff to get into tonight. Lots of clips, lots of stories. So let's just go ahead and do it. Here's first. United Nations cites a study showing virus lockdowns killing more children than COVID. There you have it. I mean, there's your headline. Not surprised. Democrats and liberals around the country are fighting to continue unlawful lockdowns, but officials at the United Nations have cited a study that proves such tactics are more deadly to children than the actual virus. School closures are doing more harm than good, making many people wonder just how many. Okay, it's starting to get into just editorializing. In a presentation seeking extra funding for the coronavirus efforts, UNICEF Director Henrietta Fore said Monday the repercussions of the pandemic are causing more harm to children than the disease itself. UNICEF Nutrition Program Chief noted that the most harm is being done by having schools closed, and by having primary health care services disrupted, by having nutritional programs dysfunctional. The officials pointed to a study published in The Lancet that notes physical distancing, school closures, trade restrictions, and country lockdowns are worsening global child malnutrition. How about that? It's crazy, man. It's from every angle, isn't it? It's really from every angle, isn't it? That's how inverted it all is. We know the UN's horrible. Now we're running back to the UN, and they're the ones telling us the truth. I mentioned this before. It's funny how Russia seems to be becoming more free this last 10 years, and they seem to stand up more for their people in certain situations than what's happening in America now. It's that inversion. Everything's flip-flopped. It's crazy, huh? Police quit agreements to provide security at the Democratic National Convention over tear gas and pepper spray ban as mass protests are feared. Well, this is what they get. The left in America, the Democrats, they're not even Democrats anymore. You get it. But they've been trying to defund the police. It's been a big thing out here, is defunding the police. Even in this little bitty town I'm in, they defunded our police not long ago by $800,000. It was just a few weeks back. And they want to have BLM classes in elementary school in this town for the children. Now you see, that's another reason I just want to get out. Just get out of here. I don't want to be here. I want to be in this place. But it's harder to escape, though, this beast system, as it just keeps encroaching on everything. But America is obviously the target. I was watching a news program earlier today, and they were showing all these other countries where everything's cool. There's no worries on the crown virus. Everything's fine. Kids are playing. People are swimming. Life's good. Things are cool. When I start seeing that, went online, I just started looking up other places, other countries, and how they're dealing with this. And sure enough, it's pretty obvious that America is the target and getting hit the hardest by the propaganda and the lies and everything else right now. But they've been wanting to defund the police. Well, this is what they get. Now the police are saying, all right, cool. We're not going to provide security for you at the Democratic National Convention. So we'll see what happens. Will the rioters and looters eat their own? These are all leftists, right? Will they eat their own? We have seen, though, that these so-called BL plus M and Antfarta and these other groups all combined, that they will eat their own. They will attack each other. They will kill each other. They'll attack Democrat senators or Congress people or whatever. They don't care. It's just a maniacal spirit run loose, wickedness, feet rushing to wickedness, lawlessness spreading across the land. White House petition to investigate Gates Foundation garners more than 600,000 signatures. That's so great. It's from July 27th, just a couple days ago. If you want to sign that, let me see. I don't know if it's still active or not. Let's see. The White House petition that was launched in April to investigate Bill and Melinda Gates for crimes against humanity and medical malpractice has amassed 6 times the number of signatures needed in order to get an official response. Good. That's great news, actually. Let's see what happens with that. But again, it goes to show it's so easy to feel alone sometimes. And how come no one's waking up? Why doesn't anybody get it? But we get stories like that. It's like, see, people get it. There's a collective out there. People get it. People are waking up. Still every day they're waking up. This whole thing happening is forcing people to either wake up or full on become a slave. Full on take a knee and accept everything that's going to come with masks and everything coming after that. It's like you're forced into it now, which is good. I think it's good. I mean, not everyone's, we're going to see a lot of people that are willingly going to go into captivity. Hold on one second, please. Chubbs. No. He's done this. He does this all the time. I've mentioned this in other shows. Sometimes if I'm talking to you guys or doing a live show, he'll start acting up in the background and playing with things, yanking on cords, just trying to get attention. So he's kind of doing that right now. That's why I wish I had a paintball gun. It'd be a lot easier to make him stop doing these kind of things, just sitting here on the couch, taking aim, and then splat. I would never shoot my Chubbs with a paintball gun. Anyway, enough about Chubbs. U.S. eyes building nuclear power plants for Moon and Mars. It's getting so interesting. What just this past week, we got the news that the Pentagon admitted that they currently have an off-world vehicle, something that wasn't created here on the Earth, an off-world vehicle with some kinds of tools that came along with it inside the vehicle. And it's just so funny how that's one of the biggest stories ever. I've been waiting ever since. I'll make a video. I just don't want to do a video on one news story. Hey, here's the story. Okay, good night all. I like to try to connect some things. So I've been looking for more stories, and here's one of them, it's kind of weird. The U.S. wants to build nuclear power plants that will work on the Moon and Mars. The U.S. Department of Energy put out the formal request to build what it calls a fission surface power system that could allow humans to live for long periods in harsh space environments. The Idaho National Laboratory, a nuclear research facility in eastern Idaho, will evaluate the ideas for developing the reactor. And the rest will just be surface level type information, I'm sure. I always have to wonder, what are they really going to do with this? What's really behind this? We'll see, though. It's another one I'm watching. I'm going to be really watching over the next month for space stories, space news, developments in space. And, of course, the usual UFO-type sightings and all that. But that's what I'm watching for. We'll see. I even have some things to share with you tonight, so kind of on that tip. Hey, this one's fun. Have you guys ever heard of an old cartoon called Ren and Stimpy? It's about a cat and a little dog. Well, I really loved Ren and Stimpy way back when it came out. I remember when it came out, it was kind of an underground thing, kind of cultish. Not Illuminati cult or, Nothing like that. I mean, it's kind of underground, kind of artsy, kind of strange, kind of weird. It's fantastic. Anyway, I loved it. I was a big fan even back then of John Fauci, who's the creator of Ren and Stimpy as an artist. You know, I've always been interested in art and creating things and projects, and I can appreciate other people's God-given gifts. This out. I didn't know this until recently. This just came out on the July 28th, so a couple of days ago, from Gravitas Ventures. This is a new trailer for apparently a new documentary coming out about Stimpy. More specifically, John Fauci. Let's check this out.
You keep dancing like that! Blow the sack of protoplasm!
The current day examples of shows that I think were influenced by Ren and Stimpy are all of the shows.
Why won't they leave me?
Ren and Stimpy was an anomaly in its time.
It was an artist-driven show.
I thought I was having an acid flashback.
Ren and Stimpy opened the doors saying to everyone out there, no more rules.
Happy, happy, happy. Joy, joy, joy.
He's like, I'm working on a show that is revolutionizing TV animation. And it all emanated from John.
We all kind of thought that John was going to be the next Walt Disney.
People always ask me if I identify with either of them. Well, I'm not going to say that I identify with an idiot, but I guess I do identify with an apple.
Shows were delivering months late. That pissed off the advertisers big time. We did get death threats. His behavior got really bad.
It was just like he lived in the kingdom of John, and he's sick.
Is there anything you would have done differently?
I shut the camera off. I'll give you a super honest answer.
Looks interesting, huh? Well, with me, it does. I really liked that cartoon. I haven't seen it in a long time. The last cartoon I liked that much was Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You guys ever seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force? I even had a Meatwad t-shirt at one point. Some of you will understand who Meatwad is. And his importance. The importance of his character on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He's the greatest little character ever. Just a little ball of rotten meat. You know, you got to love him. Cute as could be. Here we go. Another one of those stories that's come out just over the last week is we've been told they actually have an off-world vehicle. Now we got this one. Pentagon is saying they're going to be making more of their discoveries public. Question is, will the public care?
More than a decade, the Pentagon's UFO program has only been discussed in classified briefings, but now the Defense Department will release some of their findings every 6 months. The Office of Naval Intelligence released a report to a Senate committee outlining spending on the UFO program called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. According to the report, the unit is tasked with standardizing the collection and reporting on sightings of unexplained aerial vehicles. Unexplained aerial vehicles doesn't have quite the same ring as a UFO. UAV? UAV?
But
Yeah.
still, though, are they admitting to what we've all known?
That's got to be an admission, right?
The New York Times ran a story a couple days ago, and if it's said to be believed, is that the Pentagon essentially said that those images that we were showing you are off-world vehicles that were not made on this earth. So
yeah, that is the quote.
Just as Joe Rogan, who I am not one to quote ever, said.
Okay, I've had it with these two knuckleheads. But you got the story. He didn't even give the full story. The story is they're claiming that they have an off-world vehicle right now. Anyway. Mind-Melting Mysteries. Count me in. Is that the name of the YouTube channel? It is. Mind-Melting Mysteries. I got to subscribe. I love a mind-melting mystery. Strange Lights over Florida. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about. I'm pretty sure this was the launch. And they did another launch in Florida recently. I think that's what this is, but I still think this is important to see. Because watch this guy's reaction. He doesn't know about these launches. I guess he hasn't seen some of these before, and they're crazy. We've seen some of these Elon Musk SpaceX launches, and they had the one over Los Angeles. They never told anybody about it. And we had all those videos on YouTube, people tripping out like, oh my God, it's an alien invasion. They're here. And it looked like it. It was insane. Well, this could be tied in with what's coming. Maybe perhaps a Project Bluebeam type situation, or maybe a different kind of hoax with this SpaceX stuff. You know, who knows? They got the satellites. They just launched not long ago as well. They were the biggest satellite launch ever. There's just a lot of things we're sending up into space right now, and a lot of things we don't even fully understand. So it is interesting. It makes me wonder. But let's check this out, because can you imagine? Most people, you know, aren't ready for something like this. And if you watch this, it's insane. This is really crazy stuff. But imagine these kinds of things happening in mass all around the world, or something crazier. As this guy wrote here, practice run for a fake alien invasion, ? I would go more with something like that in a case like this, because we have seen lots of UFO sightings that are from not necessarily off world, but other dimensions. All right, let's check this out.
What the fuck, man? What is this, dude? Holy shit. What the
It gets much
fuck
bigger.
is that, bro? What the fuck, dude? Holy fuck. Why is it getting bigger? What the fuck, man? Holy shit. What the fuck is that? Holy fuck, bro.
This guy has a limited vocabulary. I'll say that.
Oh my god, bro, what is that? What the fuck is that, bro? Holy shit. Oh my god, what is this?
It makes me think, too, of the lying signs and wonders and those kind of possibilities. And whoever the Antichrist turns out to be, what if he's able to, they have all this stuff in place and ready to go. Perhaps that's part of it. He says, I'll open up the skies or something. Who knows what he'll say. Then all the stuff starts off. But I still feel the actual entities are going to play their role as well. Anyway, let's continue.
What? Holy fuck. What the fuck did I just watch?
Trying to pull the mic away when he cusses, but all he does is cuss.
What the fuck is this, bro? Oh my god.
You know, what kind of rocket is that? They always say, yeah, it's a rocket. It's just a rocket. It's not like any kind of rocket we've ever seen before.
It's doing more shit. Oh my god. What can I just watch, dude?
Now they're trying to drive closer to it. Here we go.
Guys, it looks literally like a ray of light just shining down.
Like a ray of light shining down. It does.
What this is.
It's just a rocket. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, he said, is that SpaceX?
Yo, whatever that is fucking gnarly, dude. Holy sh... And it's getting brighter again.
I mean, really, really, right? All those years, people, oh, there's no such thing as Project Bluebeam, and they can't coordinate something like that. Guys, hello. I mean, we really are in the age of anything goes. It's insane. It's total insanity. Look at this, right? Look at this. These are the possibilities.
Holy fuck, man.
Okay, we get it. This guy's a very limited vocabulary. Good capture. Limited vocabulary. This one right here, man, this video is fantastic, but it's been making the rounds on YouTube since like 2015. People just share it over and over again, update it. They don't give any background or any credit to whoever the original person is that put this up. But it's still definitely worth a share. It's pretty cool. Check this out.
What the fuck? Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Check this out. Holy shit. What the fuck is that? Oh my goodness. What the hell? Fucking flipping out, dude.
It's so crazy. It just jumped. It looks like it jumped from that one cloud to the other.
That was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I think that's all he captures. I think it ever comes back again. Yeah, good stuff. Interesting. Interesting. Strange UFO sighting over Switzerland from July 28th, a couple days ago on UFO Source Channel. UFO Source Channel. Yeah, this is a good one. I've seen this in a few places. Check this out. This is a really weird one. It reminds me of those bell-looking UFOs that they found diagrams with the Nazis. They were creating these types of UFOs. I can't remember what they called them. Is it Vermana, maybe? Maybe it's the Vermana or the... Not sure. Let me see if he gets a close-up. No, doesn't look like it. Hard to say. I mean, unless it's a balloon or something. I don't know. It looks like a structure, doesn't it? Actual structure. Near the water. Or the... I thought that was water mountains. I don't know, man. What do you think? What if you were in the park and that thing came down and the door opened and you couldn't see anybody, but you heard a voice say, "You want to go for a ride?" Would you go? Or would you stay?
Yeah.
Here's a really good UFO capture. This is a new one. Well, from this past week, July 25th. This is from over Kuwait, from UFOs and Aliens Santana YouTube channel. Check this out.
Iya. Oh, marjo na. Ano marjo niya?
think it's, when I saw it, I just thought of these little demons up there, and they're, because you'll see a lot of them floating together, and they'll suddenly all form into one, get bigger. It's formed a big ball of them. So I see this as, that's what I thought when I saw this. It's just that energy, a bunch of them together, and they're all coming down, perhaps on their own missions, coming down to the earth, or in this case, coming down to Kuwait, and perhaps they have certain missions they need to go on, certain people they need to torment. Who knows? Who knows? Reminds me of the screw tape letters. That's one of those I always wish that they want to make a remake of a book or something, or make a book into a movie. They should do screw tape letters from C.S. Lewis. It's a great book, but it's a lot of, like, I don't want to say it's a lot of what we do here, but it's kind of similar. It's about learning the devil's devices, why the devil does what he does, why the demons do what they do, understanding your enemy so they can't get control of you, and also so you can defeat them. And that wonderful book, Screw Tape Letters from C.S. Lewis, is all about an older demon kind of teaching a younger demon how to be a demon. And it's really good. It's really deep and very interesting. Here's another one, UFO over Indian Lake in Ohio. It's a good capture from Kosick Auto YouTube channel.
Look at that. Holy shit, what is that? I am. That's not a plane. That is not an airplane. You see it? That is not a satellite, and that is not an airplane. I've never seen anything like that before. God. There's no FAA lights on it.
It's a good one. Got a few UFO videos for you this time around. Here's another one. UFO or portal appears during evening thunderstorm over Australia from the 25th, just this past week, from 3 a.m. lockdown YouTube channel.
Look, what is that? What is that? It's that weird. I say, hey, I got that on video. The lightning was right there, and that's what happened after lightning.
That's wild. Look at this. So we've seen this before on this channel, I'm pretty sure. I think this one came out about 3 weeks ago. But when I showed it the last time, it was on a compilation type video, and I don't think we got as much footage. It's why I would really like this one. We're getting real close up on whatever this is. And yeah, this goes the whole way. So let's check this out. I just want to pause that for a second. Look at that. There's some kind of that orb right there. All right, let's see what happens.
It's the Northern Lights, okay, really. That is so weird. But if I go away, it's still there, look, it's still there. Even if I get out of it. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Hello. Yeah.
I'd walk towards that, wouldn't you? It's pretty far away. At least walk up past that house. Weird. That is so crazy. All right, good one. Over Australia, you can watch that at 3 a.m. Lowdown, not lockdown, sorry. This is from our old friend, the Hidden Underbelly 2.0. Good capture here over Pyongyang, North Korea from July 9th. But I hadn't seen this one, so let's share this. I'm just a little older. That's okay. Don't be mad at me. Calm down. Relax. Check this out.
So I gotta say, this is a first for the channel because this is the first video that I've had from North Korea of a UFO sighting. So Kim Jong-un must be really slipping to let anything out on social media. So saying that, let's talk about what this thing is doing.
Yeah, that
this
is
thing
cool,
seems
huh?
to be using some grab the phone and catch up this really quick this orb to hit it afterwards.
That was it. Pretty wild, though. I've seen UFO videos where the UFOs do something similar like that, but never where they stay in the same spot. They'll go to one other side and then real far away and then jump over. Anyway, look at this. This is probably got a ads on it and stuff, so I don't know. But anyway, I still wanted to show you this. This is from last year, from January 2019, but I stumbled on this. I had never seen a centipede this big. I've lived in a few places where I've had centipedes, Hawaii and down in Central America. Never really liked them much. No offense for the centipede lovers out there. But anyway, this is, I'll play it in little 10-second bits. Look at this. I don't know. It seems kind of cute, though. This one seems cute for some reason. I don't know why. Seems like a nice little pet. Seems harmless enough, right? It's petting it. All right, there you go. Would you ever own a massive centipede like that? Maybe some of you do have big centipedes. I don't know. Wow, it's a monster. But it seems nice. I don't know. Maybe I just changed my opinion on centipedes. All right, check this out. This is a good one. Mountain climber is shocked as a monk passes them barefoot up the mountain with no gear. This is from Disclosed Screen, the Grim Reaper. Check this out. You gotta love it. It's great. Hey guys. Nice. I like it. I like it. I like that monk. It's another one that's pretty wild. It's been floating around the last few days. It says, who dug up this entire graveyard overnight? Where are the bodies? This one's on extraterrestrial agenda, but this video has been all over. I've seen it in a few places the last few days. I'll just play this out, but let's see if it says. No, it doesn't say in this any background. I'm not sure exactly where this took place, but they're pretty wild. I mean, judge for yourself. That's the story, is that overnight, this entire graveyard, all the bodies came up missing in one night. It immediately made me think of "And the Dead Shall Rise," but that's me.
Nisme, ayam nisan amat macam orang di tanah tanah sang kecil sang kami sang ko, what did they decide?
On another video, I saw somebody saying, "Oh, it's just a flood." It's like, I don't think floods work that way. They automatically collapse every single grave for whatever reason, just the graves, and then the bodies and even the extra dirt and everything seems to be gone. What do I know? I do think this is very interesting, though. They're playing the same footage over a few times, it seems, but what do you think, man? We'll have to see. I'll have to do a little digging and find out some more on this, at least where it took place. Exactly. But as far as the eye can see, look at all the holes. Way back, way back. Look at that, way back. You see the holes dug. They're saying all the bodies are gone.
Yes, mate.
All the bodies. Makes you wonder. U.S. government accidentally sends a strange conspiracy theory file describing remote mind control and forced memory blanking. Now, this is a little older. I had just stumbled on this just this past week, so I wanted to share this one. I still thought it was good. I don't remember this when it happened. Maybe we did talk about it back then. I don't know, but it's been a while. We cover a lot of stuff here. U.S. government may have been secretly collecting documents on remote mind control and forced memory blanking. A reporter claims to have been mysteriously sent the proof after filing a request for a different set of information. In what sounds like a plot from the X-Files, they revealed research into bizarre psychoelectric weaponry. These claims, yeah, we have seen this, but still, I thought it'd be cool to share again. Now I've seen the picture again. These claim to use electromagnetic forces to achieve their aims, including inducing intense pain, itching, or even rigor mortis. Mail Online has contacted the parties involved to verify the claims, but is yet to receive a response. Okay. Yeah, this was a good one. Just thought I'd bring it back to your attention if you guys had never heard of this, or if you hadn't seen this diagram here. Psychoelectric weapon effects. Wow. There you go. Mayors back reparations that could cost $6.2 quadrillion or $151 million per descendant. The nation's mayors on Monday backed a national call for reparations to 41 million black people, a program that could cost taxpayers $6.2 quadrillion. The U.S. Conference of Mayors released a letter backing a Democratic plan to form a reparations commission to come up with a payment for slavery. We recognize and support your legislation as a concrete first step in our larger reckoning as a nation. I don't want to read all this stuff. I don't like these people. I think they're going about things like this obviously the wrong way and obviously on purpose. They know it's divisive, but it's a real thing. There you go. It's real. There it is. The United States Conference of Mayors. The Honorable Cory Booker. Oh boy. Cory Booker. Honk honk. Minnesota Attorney General wants to know why cops carry guns. Says get rid of the word police. So just more of this stuff, man. I mean, these people are all about full-on dismantling America. That's what's happening. With murders up nearly 80% in Chicago last month, Lori Lightfoot blames guns. It's the mayor. Gretchen Whitmer defunds police, cuts $115 million from state cops, replaces portion with Fed cash. She just looks wicked every time I've seen pictures of her. Anyway. Seattle City Council moves to defund police and create civilian-led department. Some more of this. What could go wrong? Everything's going to be just fine. This is, watch Rep. Jordan, Dr. Fauci spar over limiting protests to help stem crown virus spread. Dr. Fauci is just the worst. Let me see what that video is. I think that's it there.
Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Fauci, do protests increase the spread of the virus?
Oh, yeah, this is good. Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me pull this back. Check this out. Hold on a second. Let me refresh the page here. There we go. All right, check this out.
Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Fauci, do protests increase the spread of the virus?
Do protests increase the spread of the virus? I think I can make a general statement.
Well, 500,000 protesters on June 6th alone. Yeah. I'm just asking that number of people. Does it increase the spread of the virus?
Crowding together, particularly when you're not wearing a mask, contributes to the spread of the virus.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should the government limit the protesting?
I don't think that's relevant to.
Well, you just said if it increases the spread of the virus, I'm just asking, should we limit it?
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what the government can do in a forceful way.
Well, you make all kinds of recommendations. You make comments on dating, on baseball, on everything you can imagine. I'm just asking, you just said that protests increase the spread. I'm just asking you, should we try to limit the protests?
No, I think I would leave that to people who have more of a position to do that. I can tell you.
Government stopping people from going to church, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
Last week in the Calvary Chapel case, 5 liberals on the Supreme Court said it was okay for Nevada to limit church services. Justice Gorsuch said it best. He said, there's no world in which the Constitution permits Nevada to favor Caesar's Palace over Calvary Chapel. I'm just asking, is there a world where the Constitution says you can favor one First Amendment liberty, protesting, over another, practicing your faith?
I'm not favoring anybody over anybody. I'm just making a statement that's a broad statement that avoid crowds of any type, no matter where you are, because that leads to the acquisition and transmission. And I don't judge one crowd versus another crowd. When you're in a crowd, particularly if you're not wearing a mask, that induces the spread.
It's a simple question, Doctor. Should we limit the protests? Government is obviously limiting people going to church. And look, there's been no violence that I can see at church. I haven't seen people during a church service go out and harm police officers or burn buildings. But we know that, for 63 days, 9 weeks, it's been happening in Portland.
Right. Yeah.
Well, one night in Chicago, 49 officers were injured, but no limit to protests. But boy, you can't go to church on Sunday.
I don't know how many times I can answer that. I'm not going to opine on limiting anything. I'm just going to tell you.
You've opined on a lot of things, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, but I've never.
This is something that directly impacts the spread of the virus, and I'm asking your position on the protests.
Yeah, I'm not going to opine on limiting anything. I'm telling you what it is, the danger. And you can make your own conclusion about that. You should stay away from crowds, no matter where the crowds are.
Government has stopped people from going to work. In fact, just in New Jersey 4 days ago, Ian Smith, Frank Trombetta were arrested for opening up, for trying to operate their business, their gym. They were arrested. But my bet is if these two individuals own this gym were outside just in front of their gym, and all the people who were working out in their gym were outside protesting, they'd been just fine. But because they were in the gym working out, actually running their business, they got arrested. You think that's okay?
You know, I'm not going to opine on who gets arrested and who does not. I mean, you get where I'm going. I'm telling you, as a public health official, I say crowd.
Do you see the inconsistency, though, Dr. Fauci?
There's no inconsistency, Congressman.
There's no so you're allowed to protest, millions of people on one day in crowds yelling, screaming, but you try to run your business, you get arrested? And if you stood right outside of that same business and protested, you wouldn't get arrested? You don't see anything?
I don't know why that stopped.
I don't understand what you're asking me as a public health official to opine on who should get arrested or not. That's not my position. You could ask.
No, you've advocated for certain businesses. You've advocated for certain businesses to be shut down. I'm just asking you on your position on the protest. I haven't seen one. We've heard a lot about hair salons. I haven't seen one hairstylist who, between haircuts, goes out and attacks police or sets something on fire. But we've seen all kinds of that stuff during protests, and we know the protests actually increase the spread of the virus. You've said that.
I said crowds. I didn't say specifically. I didn't say protests do anything.
So the protests don't increase the spread of the virus?
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I just want an answer to the question. Do the protests increase the spread of the virus?
I don't have any scientific evidence that anything. I can tell you that crowds are known, particularly when you don't have a mask, to increase the acquisition and transmission. No matter what.
So you don't have a position on whether the protests increase the spread of the virus or don't increase the spread of the virus?
I'm saying that crowds, wherever the crowds are, can give you an increased probability that there's going to be acquisition and transmission.
But do you understand Americans' concern? Protesting, particularly according to the Democrats, is just fine, but you can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't go to church. There's limits placed on all three of those fundamental activities, First Amendment activities, but protesting is just fine.
You know, the gentleman's time has expired, but I'll just ask the gentleman to just think about his question and put it in reference to crowds that gather in political.
Okay, but you got it. I loved it, though. It's great seeing a fartsy squirm like that, isn't it? You gotta love it. Just the hypocrisy of this. Again, the inversion. How so few people are questioning it. And all these churches are fine now just doing Zoom study or whatever. Every Sunday, a lot of these churches now are online doing it, or Facebook Live or whatever it is. But they're not standing up. And it's the problem. Not enough people are standing up. And that's what can hold these things off even longer. That's what has for so long. Especially the fact here in America that we have our own weapons. That's a big deal. If we didn't all have our own weapons, yeah, I think it would have been over a long time ago. It would have been a lock, by now. National Institutes of Health makes shrine to Anthony Fauci. This guy, such a fraud, such a fraud. Oh yeah, there you go. You gotta love it. Look at this. Keep pushing, Dr. Fauci. You're the best. Dr. Fauci, you're our champion. Wow. There you go. There you have it, guys. So many people dumbed down. Or that whole thing could have been faked, and maybe it was Dr. Fauci's own staff that created those letters. You never know. BL plus M activism materials 1619 project promoted to schools. According to Texas Scorecard, a publication of Empowered Texans that promotes liberty and fiscal responsibility in the state, as a special education counselor in the Plano School District shared with colleagues via email a resource created by Marva Robinson, a clinical psychologist who served as past president of the St. Louis chapter of the Association of Black Psychologists. Honestly, this is so outrageous, you should just read it while thinking about how your school taxes are being spent, it says. Noted the Texas scorecard noted the school counselor's email dated June 12th was confirmed to be authentic. The document shared by the counselor is titled Discussing Community Trauma in Response to Killings and Mistreatment of Black and Brown Americans, which apparently accompanies a webinar titled Understanding the Black Experience in America, Be the Change You Want to See in the World. I don't need to read. I don't even need to read the rest. We get it. I understand. We know. It's definitely about the kids, always with the kids. Definitely got to get to the kids, right? Terrified student spots ghost of girl lurking behind teacher during online session. I'd like to see that. Let's see. Maybe we can. Okay, let's watch. Or not. Here, let's try this again.
Relacionado con lo que dice Raúl, el gato de... No me suena la tinga en alemán, pero de cualquier materia. Es decir, si nosotros estamos estudiando matemáticas, el primer parcial, el primer tetra, vamos a ver filosofía de las matemáticas, física, filosofía de física, filosofía de la computación, porque siempre hay algo que estudiar más elevado. Efectivamente, Edgar, tanto el movimiento no existe, relacionado con lo que dice Raúl, el gato de... No me suena.
Yeah, hard to say on that one. That could easily be a setup, couldn't it? Let's try this one. This one looks really cool. Antarctica mystery as Google Earth user spots 20-meter tall figure emerging from the snow. Antarctica is one of those places I've always had files on as far as news stories and just interesting things I found. But I've been waiting for more. You know, I'd like to do a really big video on Antarctica sometime because there's so much happening out there. A lot of really strange things happening out there. I've covered some of it actually throughout the years in some of my videos, but I'd like to just do a big, massive video on it. I've been waiting on more stories and I found this. I'll have to look more into it. I thought this was cool. Look at this, though. I'll go ahead and make this bigger. We'll watch this.
Wandering around a figure in Antarctica that is over 20 meters tall. Hold on, let me show you. Okay, guys, this is Google Earth. It's free to download, so you don't have to buy anything or watch ads or anything. It's kind of cool. So watch as we zoom in on Antarctica and the location of this alien figure. Now, I say alien because, honestly, what kind of figure could be 20 meters tall? You know, it just doesn't make sense that there's an alien figure out there, some 20-meter tall alien.
One of the things about Antarctica is there's a lot of connections to that and the idea of the fallen angels and perhaps places where they're chained and things like this. Alien bases, UFO sightings, all kinds of fun things happen out there, weird things happen out there. But there's definitely been a lot of connections to the fallen angels. A lot of researchers have done books on that even, and short documentaries. You can look some of that stuff up. So that came to mind as well when I see this. When you see a giant, it appears to be a giant humanoid type figure in Antarctica. It's like, wow, what the heck?
Wandering around Antarctica. Maybe it is possible. Maybe it isn't possible. Maybe it's my imagination. But you tell me in the comments below. Let's look into this. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments. Hey, it's aliens making snow angels. Yeah, maybe. Check this out. Let's zoom in on this guy, and we're going to take him from head to toe. 22.69 meters. 22.69 meters. That's pretty awesome. Now, that is kind of surprising. That's pretty tall, right? But I noticed down here there seemed to be a doorway into a cave or something here. And so I took this and I measured it. And as I measured it, it came out to about 24 meters for the opening of this cave. Now the opening and the person come out to almost the same height. Now that's a little bit strange, don't you think? Now,
I mean, it makes you wonder. This is I like this, and I need to save this one before I forget. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. I like it. Video of couple eating and drinking through their face mask freaks viewers out. Yeah, this one's been making the rounds as well. It's unfortunate. It's honk honk. It's welcome to Clown World. Welcome to the Idiocracy. I need to do a new video on We're Living in the Idiocracy. I did that one about a year and a half ago, maybe, or a year ago, but now's the time. Definitely, now's the time for a part 2.
Bobby can get out tonight.
We're turning into animated characters. Yeah, we're turning into animated characters. What happened? There we go. Yeah, not even just animated characters. It's like it reminds me of a job I had a long time ago. I really hated the place. It was just one of those temporary type jobs you take. But at one point I looked around and I was like, I'm really literally working with a bunch of Simpsons characters. Everybody had strange shapes and odd features, and it's just a really weird thing. Anyway, so I see videos like that, and it's like, wow, it's growing. We're living in a world now filled with characters from Family Guy and The Simpsons and King of the Hill and some of these other cartoons. South Park. Strange lights seen by hundreds above cities spark UFO fears after appearing at night. This is a really good capture here. If it's the one I'm thinking of. I think it is. Darn it. Oh, sorry. I got to pause the blocker on there. Hope y'all are doing all right, by the way. Thanks again for joining me here for another Friday night for KJ's What Happened. Still got a lot of stories to get through, a lot of stuff to show you. So just thanks again, man. I appreciate you guys all being here. And another big thank you to the moderators as well. And of course, a huge shout out to my Patreon, PayPal supporters out there. Thanks, guys. Check this out. This isn't the one I was thinking, but I still think it's cool. They just didn't hold on it long enough, did they? Just more of these strange things happening in the skies all around the world, always with the lights and the orbs and different formations and shapes and colors. Sudden outbreak of mystery worm-like creatures reported in South Korea's water supply. Worrying worm-like creatures have been reported coming from taps weeks after complaints about weird-looking organisms appearing in their drinking water. South Korea residents made the discovery in Incheon, west of the capital. Seoul, Busan. Did you ever see the movie Train to Busan? I'm probably saying it wrong, Busan, but Train to Busan. It's a zombie movie. It was really good. They just released a sequel called Peninsula. If you're interested in that, just throwing it out there. So these places were a number of places to also file reports on this. Officials of, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, they just had the zombie movie taking place in Busan. And now we got strange worms in their water. Officials have received nearly 600 complaints of larva-like creatures being found. Concerned Prime Minister has issued an emergency instruction on Monday for inspection of all water purification plants. And there's one of them. It's a big one. Gross. Imagine just millions of these things in your water supply. Taking a shower, first thing in the morning, closing the eyes, letting that hot water hit your face. Sometimes you'll open your mouth, put your teeth out, kind of let almost like it's a water pick, the shower's hitting on your teeth. And then you get a mouthful of these things. Minister of Environment Cho Myung-rae has promised to be as open as possible with the findings. The Environment Ministry and local governments should join hands to swiftly conduct investigations and transparently disclose all relevant information to help ease public unrest. Prime Minister also ordered an emergency inspection of all the water purification plants. Okay. All right. Got it. Any more pictures? No? All right. Cool. Here's one. It's one of those videos I've been holding on to for quite a while. Figured I'd put it in a compilation sometime. I'm just waiting for more footage of this because I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this. These massive gangs of kids just riding their bikes together. It almost looks like a post-apocalyptic world at one point, not even paying attention to the cars or anything. That was my take on this, but I thought it was interesting. Hold on, I want to make this bigger for you. So let me refresh it. It's VidMax. VidMax. Been going to VidMax a lot lately. They got some good videos here.
Oh! You're gonna hit one. Out and over.
How am I supposed to move over?
Look at this kid right here. He almost fell off twice.
Should we call the cops?
He's laughing. Kid's laughing.
Should we call the cops?
I mean, you see this, I see this, and I think about
Look at this kid right here.
all the schools shutting down, how many kids probably aren't going to be going back to school.
Should we call the cops?
There's already families out there where the kids run the roost, you know? You know the type. They usually end up on Steve Wilko's show or Maury Povich or Jerry Springer. But there really are a lot of people out there like that let their kids just kind of run the roost. So I wonder if we'll be seeing a lot more of this, just gangs of kids running around during the day. Idle hands. Ain't got nothing else to do. Just looking for trouble. All right, this is a bit of a doom break. It's kind of crazy. It's a mother-in-law from hell, it says. And this is during somebody's wedding in a little church.
You're not going to say my son has flaws.
The bride-to-be, in her speech to her husband-to-be, mentioned something about, I love you for everything, even your flaws. And then the mother-in-law says, which is the son's mommy, says, my son ain't got no flaws.
You can leave. No, I don't have to leave. That's February. We've calm down. Let's calm down. You're not going to ruin my day. You are not going to say my son has flaws.
Wow.
Everybody has flaws, and that's why I love them. You can leave, Judy.
Like you don't have flaws.
You can leave. You can get out of my wedding now.
I'm not leaving. That dress you're wearing, I'm paid for. Get out. I'm not getting out. Try it, and I'll have you arrested.
Tony, get her out of here. This is not right.
This is not the wedding.
I'm not leaving. You showed it. You let your daughter know.
Let's just calm down. Let's say, hey, we don't need this.
This is fine.
We don't need this.
I don't want to hear these flaws about leaving. That dress you're wearing, I'm paid for. Get out. I'm not getting out. Try it, and I'll have you arrested.
Oh, okay, they played it a few times. It's a TikTok. My son ain't got no flaws. God. The horror on this girl's, well, she knows what she's getting. I mean, she knows the lady, I'm sure. They knew what they were getting into. It's from a couple days ago. BL plus M supporters harassing a couple for removing signs, BL plus M signs off their business that they did not place there in the first place. Which makes sense. It's their business. They don't want them on there. It's their property. Okay. This is what happens when you're reasonable.
You put that in the window? You put that in the window? What? That right there. No, I didn't put the. No, did you put those words up in the window? No.
So why are you taking it down?
What? You see, they say no justice, no peace. They say Black Lives Matter. Why do you take them down?
So put
Because what?
Because do you see the words? But read it. Okay, so if you don't understand what it has to do with anything, cover it back up.
You know what? This is our building, and we just said.
Oh, so this is your building? That was in the building we bought. You bought this building. You just bought this building today.
What is that? What's that?
That means nothing to you, right? Those words.
Yes. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back 200. We'll be back 200 deep. Whatever business y'all starting here won't open. We'll be back 200 deep. We'll shut this down every time.
Right now. Right now. Make this all public.
Share this live.
A devilish spirit, man. Hive mind.
Y'all know I was coming back to speak. Look, like person, and you audacity to do some ignorant ass shit like that. And here it is. Two white ass people that was sitting around watching. You knew it was gonna come back. Now it's an issue. Oh, it's not.
It's an issue.
It's not an issue.
It's an issue.
I promise. I fucking promise you, too, that it's an issue. Shut up. You pulled it off the window. You lucky I'm not violating you right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's cool.
No, it's so cool. But I promise you, these people right here, they got an issue.
No, we don't have.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do, y'all. Grimes, interiors, furniture repair. Don't fucking touch me. Get your lady. Get your lady. Yeah. You should leave. Grimes, furniture repair specialist, interiors, Lorenzo Rulli. 412. No, don't block it now. I already got it on this one. 412. 6667. They think this is acceptable here. They gonna put this shit in the window, pull our Black Lives Matter signs down when we sitting here telling them that it's offensive. It don't matter because this old lady, this white woman is a prick. Oh no, I'm not even gonna put them back up because they're gonna pull them back down. I'm gonna take them with me because we'll be back. This their property. No. We appreciate your support. Truly, you got black kids. We love black babies.
Rise of the Rainbow Children.
Yeah, no, it's fine. They ignorant as fuck. These are the white people that sat by and watched as we asked, who did this? Literally was wondering who did this. They did it. So that's what it is. That's what it is right there. Yo, share this to my page right now so that they go viral right now. Grimes, furniture repair specialist, 412-771-6667.
And what's really messed up is this kind of stuff is happening all over, just in little pockets of
Talking
evil.
about we bought the building just about 3 weeks
Different
ago. Hey,
people,
ladies,
different
give me my
men,
signs
women,
out the
different
car before I
colors,
go on
but
your
it's
show.
happening all over. Just kind of madness and chaos. So I always ask,
Give
hope
me
people
my
are praying
signs
for the
out your
world.
car.
I pray for the world too.
He ain't gonna touch me. He
Definitely a
ain't
good
that
time
dumb.
to be
Give
doing
me them
that.
signs out your car. They're not yours.
Pray for the people of the world.
Miss, give me the signs out your car. They're not yours. Share this to my page, y'all. Miss, she trying to keep them in her car. That's McKee's rocks right there. Yeah, they took. So we come playing stupidity to white people that knew what they was doing because you sitting there holding that phone. You sitting there holding that phone, cocky as fuck. I'm the type of guy.
You're the type of guy that wants to tell me what it means, but you don't want to.
No. You know what it means, bro. You could not have done that on mistake. Talking about you.
Call this number. Share it.
We out. You're not gonna give me my signs.
That's Karen. That's your Karen.
See, and then there's that Karen thing, man. So yeah, see, I've talked about that in the past. When that Karen thing first started way back, well, not way back, it's fairly new trend. But a few months ago it started, and the first few stories I found about a Karen, it really was these white middle-aged women who were freaking out about black men who were just walking through a park or trying to get into their house or their apartment. And that's where that kind of Karen thing originated. That's where I first found it. And now, you can see the kind of mind control behind it, or the psyop of it, because now everyone's Karen. Even if you're trying to defend yourself, now we see all these videos of these, particularly, the white women who are standing against the masks, and it's titled, Karen freaks out in store, things like this. It's like, you're the enemy, you're the bad one. Oh, you're a Karen. You don't want to go along with the program, huh? So you're going to be a Karen, and that's what that is. That's where this has turned into. Let's see what else we got here. Crazy woman on bike won't let man pass. Won't let a man and his dog pass. This is from just 16 hours ago. This is in New York City. And just again showing you the madness of some people. And even this one, people have probably said, here goes Karen. There's a Karen. And sometimes these people are acting out and being moronic and idiotic. You know, I get it. But we see where the Karen thing's headed to, where it is already. It's more than just white, middle-aged, racist type lady or activity. What happened here is this guy was just walking down the street with his dog. I guess the dog got close to the bike or something, or kind of in her path, and she freaked out. That's what I understand of this.
What the hell is your problem? You're not even apologizing. I know. Oh, yeah, you're a pedestrian. You get to do whatever you want.
You really make me laugh today.
That's great. I'm really happy that you get a free comedy show.
So is everyone else.
You were there illegally. Are you telling me that you had a green light?
No, I'm telling you, I was.
No.
All right, you're right.
You were there illegally?
You're right. Yes, seriously.
No, I'm not doing anything wrong right now. I'm just telling you to fucking get your dog out of the way.
There's something wrong with that. You understand?
No, it's not. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with my right to have a bike lane? What's wrong with my right to have a bike lane?
Agree to disagree, all right?
No, not disagree.
Yes, I don't.
You broke the law.
I don't care what you think. Do you understand what I'm saying? It means nothing to me now.
I
You've
know
lost
it means
it.
nothing to
So
you.
just go on with your day and I'll do
What's
mine.
going on with my day? Because I don't feel like it. You can go around the block. You got a different block.
No, I live on this block,
Not
actually.
too bad.
Yes.
Okay.
You're threatening the dog.
No, not threatening anything.
You gotta love that.
Not too bad.
Yes.
Okay.
You're threatening the dog.
No, not threatening anything.
Yes, that's good. Need more of that. I like moments where humanity comes together. You know, we're all laughing at the same thing. Everyone comes together. Didn't have to be torn apart. But speaking of it all being torn apart, of course, I've got this. BL plus M protesters terrorizing white folk trying to enjoy some ice cream in D.C. We just saw this in Houston, or was it in Dallas a few weeks ago here on the show? I had a video. It was actually a black man that was recording the video, and he was upset. But most of the protesters at that point, they were claiming to be BL plus M and Antarctica. Most of them were white kids, but there's also some black kids in there too, a little bit mixed in. But it was a black guy recording it, just saying, this is ridiculous. We're at this outside patio trying to enjoy a meal, and these people came up and just started harassing us. So more of that. It's just that nasty spirit, right? Come to steal, kill, destroy, and ruin everything. There you go. There it is. It's that spirit spreading through a hive mind, spreading chaos, violence, hatred, anger, division. Portland rioters invaded the suburbs. Says this footage will make your blood boil. They threatened to do bad things to families. That word right there. Let's watch some of this. I'll try to make it bigger screen.
Where's your shirt off, dude? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, Randy, cover up the gut. Can I get 10 half-eaten cheeseburgers to go? Know what I'm saying? And they don't want me to order them something?
You on the wrong side of history. What's up, nigga? I'm from Portland, bitch. We used to this shit on a daily basis. Y'all weak as fuck out here. Weak as fuck. Ready to take up your damn mic. Y'all some punk ass bitches compared to the feds we handle. I'ma fuck your wife and I'ma fuck your daughter too, nigga. I'ma put a big dick up in that bitch. She gonna come home and be like, Daddy, I think I'm gay. Some small dick little racist fuck. I'ma fuck all y'all with a fucking dildo when I see your face in the person, bitch. You know what a chalk means? A chalk means white trash.
Hey!
Antichrist spirit, though, you see it.
It's not worth it. They're not fucking worth it.
They're not winning any fans here. You guys are not winning fans.
You guys need to go.
Look. As soon as you guys stop yelling at us, we'll leave. If you guys stop yelling at us, we'll leave.
Hey, excuse me. I was assaulted by one of these guys. Deal with it right now. I'd like to file a report.
Hey, watch out. Oh, yeah, take the license plate. We got all your faces.
Hey, you got your license plate? I'm fucking scared of you.
We're trying to move, but there's people in front of it. We're trying. You're in the way.
Anyway, you get it. You understand. This video, you can find it on VidMax. Portland rioters invaded the burbs. You can look that up. You'll find it. The video MSM will never show you. Massive, yeah, and I can't show you this one. Massive violent BL plus M in Antarctica have brought the past 2 months. Yeah, this is the one that you'll never see on YouTube, or if it's on there, I doubt it's going to last very long. You go to VidMax, check out the video. The MSM will never show you. The massive violence BL plus M in Antarctica have brought the past 2 months. It's 51 minutes. Somebody did a lot of work here, and they did a good job of compiling a lot of this, because a lot of this stuff I haven't even seen. And I know y'all haven't seen, most likely, because this is stuff that just doesn't make it to YouTube, or if it did, it wasn't on there very long. So somebody compiled a lot of stuff, and it's an eye-opener. It's a real eye-opener. So there you go. I'm saving that one. Following suspension of Russian Fox News imitator, Kremlin warns internet users not to trust YouTube or other Western platforms. Yep. Even Russia is saying don't trust YouTube. It's that inverted world we find ourselves in. Netherlands refuses to mandate mask wearing in public. There is no proven effectiveness. American public health experts, led by Dr. Anthony Fauci, have struggled over the past couple of months to push a specific narrative on the public. Wearing a mask doesn't so much protect you from being infected with SARS-CoV-2, but if you are infected, wearing a mask could stop you from passing the virus to someone else. Mainstream media has backed up these stupid assertions with vague references to science and research, while a coalition of celebrities and progressive activists have tried to tar anybody who doubts this narrative, or worse, refuses to wear a mask at all times outside their home as a denier. On Thursday, Reuters reported that the Dutch government had decided the day before that it would not advise the public to wear masks to slow the spread of crown virus because their effectiveness has not yet been proven. The decision was announced by the Netherlands Minister for Medical Care, following a review by the country's National Institute for Health. Following a resurgence in cases over the past week or so, the Dutch government has decided it will instead seek better adherence to social distancing rules. Well, that's pretty much the story. There you go. There you have it. Good stuff. Let's all move to the Netherlands. Sky adds outdated attitudes disclaimer for Aladdin breakfast at Tiffany's. I just shared this because I remember this is from June 22nd, 2020. But this story came out about 6 months ago. They said they were going to start putting these disclaimers. Let me see if it. Yeah, this is it. They said that they were going to start putting these disclaimers on older movies. This is how sick it is. This is how bad it's become. Seriously. I mean, they treat everybody. They treat all the adults like children. Everyone's a little baby, and you can't hurt their feelings, and you got to be very, very careful. We're all babies. Hey, we're all wearing face diapers right now, right? We're all little babies, and we're wearing our face diapers. We're being good. It makes me sick. Sorry, man. Anyway, I remember them talking about this, and it looks like they started doing it now. So Sky is committed to, this is the message they get. The 1992 animated Aladdin is among a list of movies that is now coming with the Sky disclaimer. Sky is committed. You get to see this before the movie. Sky is committed to supporting anti-racism and improving diversity and inclusion, both on and off screen. Sky representative, well, my bad, let me see. That's not the message. The Sky representative said about the new warning for certain movies on Sky Cinema. Comcast-owned pay TV giant Sky has added disclaimers to some movie titles available on its Sky Cinema service, including The Jungle Book, the 1992 animated Aladdin, Flash Gordon, The Last Samurai. Man, The Last Samurai. Tom Cruise is just nutty as they get, but I really liked The Last Samurai. Did you ever see that movie? That was one of his good ones, I think. To me, it was one of those I liked a lot. The Last Samurai. Crazy as a shithouse rat. That's an old saying. Crazy as a shithouse rat he is. But The Last Samurai, I highly recommend it. Breakfast at Tiffany's, another one. It says, and this is the disclaimer, it'll say, this film has outdated attitudes, language, and cultural depiction, which may cause offense today. So there you go. We're all babies now. We're all little babies. And Sky cares about you and cares about your feelings, doesn't want you to be triggered. So just be prepared. Prepare yourself before you watch these outdated movies. Okay? Prepare yourself before you watch The Last Samurai. It has outdated ideas. Jazz and Pelicans players kneel in unity during the playing of the national anthem, breaking an NBA rule about standing during the song made in the 80s. There you have it. That same spirit that was in ancient Egypt. They're taking a knee. They're preparing to, they already are, in a sense, taking a knee for the Antichrist. I mean, that's the symbolism of all this for me. It's what I see. Some of you see it too. The fist as well. Taking a knee. There's a new movie that Beyonce apparently just made. I think it's called Black is King. And I just saw a little bit earlier. I'm going to do a video on it most likely, but I think it's all about Obama being the actual Antichrist. Of course, we know that's a possibility out there. There's a lot of possibilities. And I like to stay open to all the possibilities. I've made videos about Obama in the past. I've always said if he is not the one that will embody the devil, he certainly is an Antichrist. And we know there's multiple Antichrists, right? But Black is King makes me, it seems like it's about Obama, all about him falling to the earth, the fallen angel, the fallen star. Even Disney's new service, their symbol for whatever that service is, the new app, Disney app, I can't remember, Disney Plus or something, but even their symbolism is a fallen star. Watch it sometime. When you see it come up on screen, it's a little star and it goes bzzz, and it falls, it comes from the sky, from above Disney, and then falls down at the end of the Y. So it's a fallen star as well. So there you go. There we are. We're taking a knee, guys. For sport, this is sports now. That's what we get. Now this right here. Oh yeah, this is some Planet Fitness. This just happened this week. This is pretty recent. Planet Fitness says members, guests, and team members must wear masks inside our clubs at all times so you can gym safely. This includes upon entering and exiting the gym and at all times except when behind a private enclosure like a shower or changing room, drinking, or actively working out. Okay. And then somebody posted this. This is from the World Health Organization saying people should not wear masks when exercising as masks may reduce the ability to breathe comfortably. There's a whole thing here on that. And that was from, they put that out 16th June, 2020. I don't have it here. I'm not seeing it. But the follow-up, from what I understand, is Planet Fitness now is reversing this decision. So just want to share that. Okay, this was interesting. Here's a guy that gets caught in Portland spray painting, and you know the police are out there right now. They're trying. I think these are the feds are out there now, right, in Portland. They're trying to help. I believe these are the feds. And they come up on this guy, but one of the things is, spoiler alert, at one point after they get this guy, he starts screaming, "I'm a woman!" And what's crazy is I've seen that 2 other times in different videos of these same so-called BL+M or Antfarta peaceful protesters, they call them. But I've seen 2 other men do that before in these types of videos where the police get them, "I'm a woman!" And they start screaming. It's just madness. It's absolute madness. All right, check this out. Bit of a doom break, I guess.
Whoa! Do not!
Back up! Back up! Back up!
Do not touch me! Do not touch me! Do not touch me! You are assaulting me! You are assaulting me here! You are assaulting me! You're murderers! You're murderers! Get that off of me! Oh my God! I am a woman! I am a woman!
Anyway, you guys probably seen those in the past. I showed you as well. I bet you remember those. I am a woman. I am a woman. Biden finally has come out of the basement. There's been zero Biden anywhere. I was informed the other day, and I saw people talking about this, that if you notice that there's zero Biden signs anywhere, there's no Biden shirts, there's no Biden merch, no Biden buzz, zero Biden buzz. But still, the possibility is out there, a very serious possibility, that they could just give this to Biden, say to hell with it. We've already instituted so much of this stuff during Trump anyway, like around him or with him, some people might say. Either way, it's happening. You know, it's here. They may just say to hell with it. We don't need to put on any kind of show or anything. Let's just give it to Biden. Just steal it, give it to Biden, and let's just go full force, you know? Anyway, here's Biden. He finally, I'm disappointed as well because he's not wearing his mask. But here we go. Here's Biden. He finally is coming out.
We're going to survive all the way through this whole thing. We're going to survive all the way through this whole thing.
We're going to survive all the way through this whole thing. Not wearing his mask. Usually they're wearing their masks in public, but all right. There he is, your future president, potentially. Donald Trump suggests delaying most inaccurate and fraudulent 2020 election. Interesting. On the show last night, Kelly, my last guest, we talked about this. She's from Venezuela. And most of you understand what happened to Venezuela. It's the exact same thing they're trying to do to America right now. And even mentioned this. She mentioned about this news story about them delaying the election. So I was asking her, what are some of the things you see, similarities and things to look out for? But she sees it. She sees what's happening to America and a lot of the same things that happened to her country as they dismantled it and ripped it into pieces. But she's seen the same thing happen here. So we'll see what happens with this whole idea of no elections, perhaps. We'll see. Bakery refused to sell WW2 pensioner bread because she only had dirty cash. So this goes back to the cashless society thing. We understand that. I showed you a while back a lot of other stories where they're targeting cash now and saying it's bad and got to get rid of cash. And we understand that's all a part of it. It is a part of that digital system they're moving us to. Dirty cash. So they're going to demonize cash. Florida man. You know it's going to be good when it starts off with Florida man. Florida man is always, there's always madness in Florida. Always, it seems. That's even where the zombie outbreak started. Do you remember that? That's where the Rudy was his name. I can't remember his full name, but he was found eating another man's face off underneath a bridge one day. Just on the side of the highway. And then from there, we had that explosion all of a sudden. And of course, people always blamed it on the drug, but the drug was the portal. You know, it's the way of letting these demons in. And there was a flood of demons. I was making a lot of videos about that back then. And then we saw the same thing with the crazy clowns, the creepy clowns. It was the same flood of demons, more evidence of the flood of demons coming in. As that story manifested all around the world, people putting on clown outfits and scaring people, chasing them around, peeking in their windows, and just causing mischief and madness. Florida man opens fire in hotel lobby because a mother and son weren't social distancing, police say. You know, this was a matter of time. This isn't even the first story like this. A Florida man fired a gun inside a Miami Beach hotel after he became angry that a mother and son weren't social distancing. The bang bang happened Monday night at the Crystal Beach Suites Hotel on Collins Avenue. Douglas Marks reportedly entered the lobby of the beachfront hotel and noticed a mother and son sitting on a couch. "You all aren't social distancing," Marks told the mother and son, according to the police report. Marks then told them, "You all need to leave." The mother, Veronica Pena, and her son ignored the man. "Let me take care of them. I have two people not following directions," Marks said, according to Pena. Marks then pulled out a firearm and fired several shots. An anonymous male witness said he shielded the mother and son during the shooting and claimed there were like 6 shots fired. Police say the shooter continued to scream commands to social distance while holding the firearm and subsequently fired several shots. The guy came and started shooting, a witness said. The son and the mom were like crying and they were scared. Elio Rodriguez was in a Crystal Beach Suites hotel room with his wife and child when the bang bang occurred. "Bam, bam, real loud. I just grabbed everybody and put them on the floor," Rodriguez told the news. "I grabbed my daughter and everybody and put them on the floor. No one was injured. That's a wonderful miracle. There is a bullet hole only inches away from the hotel's front desk." Marks was arrested by Miami Beach. He surrendered to the police without incident.
Distancing dispute that ended with shots fired inside a Miami Beach hotel.
The alleged gunman caught on camera getting cuffed, and tonight we're hearing from one of the witnesses. Local 10's Janine Stanwood is live outside the jail where that suspect remains behind bars. Janine. A social distancing dispute, isn't that a sign of the times? That suspect is still here at jail. The police say that he threatened a couple of tourists at a Miami Beach hotel. Un tipo empezó a tirar tiro. A wild night inside a hotel lobby. Bullet holes piercing the floor. A man in a surgical mask on the ground in handcuffs.
Esa es mi familia. Está tirando tiro a lo loco.
After police say he fired off a bunch of shots because he claimed people inside weren't following COVID-19 rules. Police say the shooter is this man, Douglas Marks of Miami.
Idiot. But we understand also that's kind of what's happening here anyway. It's all about that division. It's about madness. People are being isolated and separated. And if somebody, all the many people out there that have mental illness already it's going to get worse. If they're not around people that care about them and love them, they can't find a way to cope with this. I believe the ultimate answer is Christ. That's where we're at right now, of course. Been there all along, but it's getting a lot more obvious. But have Christ, have that connection to your Heavenly Father and really work on that relationship, focus on it. Believe how much He loves us and how much He'll help you. Just believe and ask for everything you need. Everything, but believe. And things come. They do. Maybe not in the way you expected. And then in retrospect, you'd be like, wow, it was even better. It happens all the time. Oh, this is just something I ran across here. Somebody was talking about in a forum I was in about rectal swabs now for COVID-19 are coming out. So this is from April 19th, 2020. But There are people saying that they've been hearing talk about a lot of these healthcare providers out there starting to use rectal swabs. So somebody had left a link that it's an actual real thing. I looked it up, and there really are COVID-19 rectal swabs. So that's going to be fun for some people out there. Excuse me, I'm with Antarctica. Can you give me directions to Springfield? What's this? It says residents are driving BL plus M protesters out of Springfield. I don't get what this story is. Sorry, maybe it's been something I was looking up. Unhinged mask-wearing woman screams in small child's face. I hope you all die. This actually happened. Check this out. Again, as I told you, here's the title. Mask Karen tells unmasked mother. All right, let's see if we can't. I guess I can't make that bigger. It's only 24 seconds long. Well, in this case, actually, I'm okay with them calling people who choose masks Karen. Maybe we can just change it around. Like, let's do that. They're the Karens. Let's do those. That's Karen.
Supposed to wear them. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even the school requires children under the age of 10 not to wear them. So why would I never wear them? Why? You're going ridiculous. You take care of yourself. Bye. That's such a great thing to say to someone. I'm wearing a mask. Yeah, good for you guys. They're not supposed to wear them.
She says it 3 times. I hope you all die. I'm wearing my mask. This lady's explaining that, the little kids. But again, that doesn't matter, man. Reason is out the door with some of these people. But the children aren't even affected. But still, they're not going to open up the schools. Or I think I've got some stories and some school openings, if you will. And wait till you see the nightmare these things look like. The schools that they're saying they're going to open up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even the school requires children under the age of 10 not to wear them. So why would I never wear them? Why? You're going ridiculous. You take care of yourself. Bye. That's such a great thing to say to someone. I'm wearing a mask. Yeah, good for you guys.
Gross. Yale epidemiologist Dr. Fauci running misinformation campaign against hydroxychloroquine. Of course, that's where the fight is. That's the big. It'd be cool if Trump would just sign an executive order and just say, you know what, it's legal, it's over the counter in America, because it's over the counter in a lot of other countries. But for whatever reason, it's not here in America. So it's safe. Many people use it already. Just make it the thing here in America. Sign an EO if you can do that. Bring it to America, and maybe we could defeat this whole thing. Now, I know, you're like, that's never going to happen, KJ. Well, you held out hope. You'd like to see the battle, battle take place and a fight, and that'd be a great way to fight back. Just let people do this thing that's completely safe. We don't need vaccines. Let's do hydroxychloroquine. We'll see. Okay? I'm not saying it's ever going to happen. The system really wants those vaccines. That's what we're fighting against right now. So it'd be nice if we would see something come along with this, but who knows? Who knows? Cow found mutilated in eastern Oregon. Investigators bewildered. Yeah, this one's a pretty weird one. Look at this. Poor cow. Authorities are investigating the death and mutilation of yet another cow, this time on rangeland near Fossil, Oregon. And the culprit may have left a clue, a boot print. The Black Angus cow, a breeding animal worth $1,000, was found Thursday dead and mutilated. His tongue, genitals, and reproductive, sounds like witchcraft stuff, right? Like something for a ritual. Tongue, genitals, and reproductive organs were cut out. Her carcass was found upright, front legs tucked underneath, a position investigators say they haven't seen before. The cause of death is unknown, and authorities told the Capitol Press the case is ongoing. She died in a position she couldn't have gotten into by herself. I don't have any kind of logical explanation for it, said David Hunt, owner of Hunt Ranch. There was definitely foul play involved in this animal's death, said the deputy. This isn't the first time Hunt has lost an animal to mysterious mutilation. Last December, he found a dead bull in the snow with its nose, lips, ears, tongue, tail, and genitals removed, and his blood was all drained. Deputy Holmes said he worked on that case too with no leads. Worst deputy ever. It's probably the craziest stuff he's ever seen. Hunt isn't the only rancher to lose an animal this way. FBI case files record thousands of killings and mutilations of cattle all across the U.S. since the 1970s. The animals are usually found with the same body parts missing, and no culprit has ever been arrested. Hunt said he found the cow Thursday morning when he visited the pasture, as he does once a week at a spot about half a mile from the nearest road. Holmes said it's hard to tell how the cow died. By the time authorities arrived, the animal had likely been dead a few days. The tongue and genital wounds were clean cut, said Holmes, not by a wild animal. But Hunt noted the wounds were as clean cut as those of the bull last winter as well. How the cow died is a mystery. There were no dart punctures, no bullets, no strangulation marks, no rope burns, no tire tracks, no signs of poison. In previous cases, people have speculated culprits may be cult members, satanic worshippers, or even aliens, he says. Yeah, interesting, huh? Poor cow. All right, this clip is fantastic. I just like seeing people fighting back. I love hearing the truth. Anyway, this guy's fighting back. And I know it's left-right paradigm, KJ, it's Democrats. I know this, guys, but when I see truth, you see truth. It's good. It's pure. It feels good. It's nice. And I'll just let this clip explain itself. MSNBC anchor attacks a black Democrat for supporting Trump. And check this out, what this guy says. At least he's fighting back. This is good.
Understand it, but yet you're supporting the Republican president's reelection bid. How is that going over in your district?
Well, obviously, my district knows about me. I've served as county executive. I've run a government. I've done things to move my county forward, and the people serve them well. Solid record of accomplishments. But this is not about politics. This is about putting your country before politics, putting your country before the party. President Trump is right on target with results. Prior to the pandemic, he had the best, and you know it, the best economy that we've had going back years and years and years. The Democratic Party chose to put
an economy that even many on the right have acknowledged that he inherited from the previous administration.
Well, that's fake news.
Well,
that's
we're
fake
not
news.
doing that.
We're not
doing that.
If you look at the unemployment among African Americans during his years and during the Obama years, clearly it was much better. Yep. If you look at opportunity zone districts, if you look at support and financial support to historical colleges, clearly it's better off under his administration than the previous administration. So, I don't want to get caught into politics. Well, just because I'm a Democrat, my party feels though that
I like to traffic in facts, and much of what you just said is patently false. But I do want to. Representative Jones, this is my show. I'll ask questions. Give me a second.
Well, you had me on your show.
I know,
don't cut me off.
I'm not cutting you off, but I do want. Are you a paid campaign surrogate? Are you being compensated?
Let me be clear. You get paid to shape a liberal narrative. Yep. You get paid to attack this president. I don't get a dime for this president. I don't get a dime from the campaign. Everything I've done is in me and based on my principles. And see, that's the problem. When an African American that's elected official,
did not raise your
Let me finish now. Let me finish.
Whoa, you're not going to ask that question because you're
from
black.
the left. So don't ask me that. You only ask me that because I don't fit your narrative. This president never offered anything. I don't want anything from this president. It's what I can do for my country. And you need to accept that many other African Americans and others support this president because of his policies. And to insult me to say, am I getting paid?
I've asked the same question. I've asked the same question.
And that's representative of MSNBC and their narrative to keep blacks silent who happen to support this president. Why can't I be like white liberals or other whites? Nobody questioned they're getting paid. So I have to get paid. Do you ask Democrats, do they get paid?
I just said if you're paid
by Joe Biden.
I just said to you.
Have you ever asked any host on your show that they've been paid by Joe Biden?
State Representative Jones. Representative Jones, thank you. Do come back.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's on a YouTube channel called Anthony Brian Logan. Big YouTube channel too, it looks like. This is what I was warning you about. It's like a prison for kids. Parents blast Florida school district's videos showing apocalyptic reopened classrooms with teachers in shields and lab coats. Doesn't that sound great? As schools across the U.S. make similar preparations. just entrenching us with evil. I mean, really, it's just, it's so sick, guys. It's so sick. It's just those tentacles are just growing into everything more and more and more, and they're just going all in. The system is all in. And the symbols showed us this ever since the beginning. And all the predictive programming we found, all of us, everybody, that happened for years before all this started. Now here it is. You know, they're going all in. This is beast system all in. Beast system activated. A promotional video created by a Florida school district to illustrate what reopened classrooms will look like has been blasted by parents to say it feels like their children are going to be sent to prison because your children are. Isn't it great, though, that it's finally becoming obvious? It's manifesting into the physical in that sense. They always were in a prison with the way schools are now. Well, now it's just going to be an actual prison. That's where eventually we're going to get to. It's going to be an actual prison. See if I can find this video. Maybe that's it. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is it.
The school district of Manatee County is committed to keeping students and staff safe as they return to schools for the 2020-2021 school year. Students are scheduled to return to school on August 17th. The reopening plan represents the hard work of parents, district leaders, and educators who work together to develop comprehensive plans to ensure a safe return to school. Social distancing will be adhered to in all shared spaces, including classrooms, hallways, and cafeterias. Every effort will be made to put as much distance between students as possible. Face masks or shield coverings are required to be worn inside all schools and district buildings. Coverings should follow dress code guidelines. Cloth masks will be provided to each student through their schools. Children will be randomly screened for signs of illness. Temperatures may be taken as they board the bus and enter school. Employees are required to have temperature checks daily upon arrival. All frequent touch points such as tabletops, doorknobs, and faucet handles, as well as desks and chairs, will be cleaned and sanitized daily. All schools will be deep cleaned on Wednesdays, and frequent hand washing will be part of the day. Meals will be prepackaged to limit exposure. Students will be seated to ensure social distancing. Outdoor seating will also be used where available. All food services areas will be cleaned and sanitized daily. For more information.
What do you think, kids? Looks like a good time, huh? You know, it's a really big video for me to see this footage. It really was. It fermented an opinion, because think of all the people we want the schools back open, want to get back to normalcy. This is a clear indicator that there is no normalcy. There's no going back to the old days now. Oh, they want to open up schools again, sure, but now we're beginning to see more and more why. They're still going to be able to enslave the kids, train them even more mind control, more programming. At this point, leave them at home, right? Do you really want your kids going to a school like that, or wouldn't you rather just have them at the house, training them or teaching them?
Doorknobs and
Gross. This has been big news. It's always nice to see some of these creepy Hollywood celebrities, and we're laughing and we're happy. Like 20 million views, her and Obama dancing, things like this. Like, it's just kind of the takeover, of course. They started that a few years ago, bringing celebrities over to YouTube. But there's a lot of things I really didn't like about her, and I don't want to get into it right now. There are a lot of really weird, creepy things about her, but apparently, she's getting into some trouble. A lot of people are talking that used to work with her, now that the show's shut down anyway, and putting the truth out. And it wasn't just her. There was also a lot of creeps that worked around her and couldn't keep their paws to themselves. It comes to like the production assistants and people in the lower levels in production. Ellen DeGeneres is telling show executives she's had enough and is ready to call it quits as staffers slam her apology and claim she's the problem and has enabled the toxic culture at the show to go on for so long. So I don't want to get into all the celebrity rag stuff here, but just nice to see her. Some of these people, man, they just don't look human, do they? So many of them. They just don't look human. Something about them. Don't know what it is, but there's something about them. Association of American Physicians and Surgeons sound off on face masks. So good to see. There's some fight back, some pushback. But you probably heard what happened with all the doctors that were talking about hydroxychloroquine. They went up on the to the White House. They were outside. I think I've got a story on that. I'll save it until then. But still, good to see a little pushback here. Fauci dismisses frontline doctors as, and this is the people I was talking about, a bunch of people spouting something that isn't true. Appearing on MSNBC, Fauci told host Andrea Mitchell, the only recourse you have is to be very, very clear in presenting the scientific data that essentially contradicts that. The scientific data, the cumulative data on trials. I don't want to read all this stuff. When Mitchell asked Fauci, don't we have to do more to stop those dangerous conspiracies from misleading people? He replied, yeah, you're absolutely correct, Andrea. And that's the reason why I'm very explicit and unambiguous when we say we've got to follow the science. Okay, we know it's a clown show. This was the video.
And now doctors that have been suppressed in Texas and California.
How long is this, Alex? It's pretty long, but we'll play a little bit here. This is from bandvideo.com.
And Michigan and Florida and Missouri, they all show up and have a press conference, and it's banned on every platform after the president tweets it, and they tell the president, you do it again, you're banned. That's where we've gotten to. That's who we are. We are in slavery. We have a beachhead that's Trump. We have ourselves that are beachheads. But we must recognize we're under globalist attack. We must recognize we're occupied. We must recognize we're in a war. And the enemy knows they're losing. They're getting ready to go hot. We forced them into this. But now we have to get ready. We have seen the most spectacular level of censorship yet, where more than a dozen doctors, some of them own major clinic chains, hospitals, you name it, emergency room doctors, clinic owners, hospital managers, they get out there and they go, hey, hydroxychloroquine, here's all the studies. It's been used for hundreds of years. It has a 99% cure rate for all these different viruses because it drives zinc in. And Facebook, Google, Twitter, they all ban it. They block the president's tweet and they suspend Donald Trump Jr. And they say in the news, because the UN says hydroxychloroquine's no good. I mean, talk about an illustration. The UN says, I have headlines here, where the UN says, here's another one. United Nations orders U.S. to stop using excessive force on peaceful Portland protesters. And it's a UN press release. Just like that, people are being ordered around by the UN. And how would the UN do it? It would stage riots. You would have armies of people wearing black, covering their face. They're not wearing blue helmets. They're the academics. And then if you resist them, oh, you're bad. So there's got to be more rioting. And the UN comes in with the Democrats to remove Trump. And they're announcing that's their plan. Wow. Have we gotten them to come out of the open? Out of desperation. We have forced them into a desperate move that even if they succeed in taking out Trump and yours truly, they'll lose a few rounds later because of this. Bill Gates has been hiding the last few months. Very little interviews. Now he's reemerged like a moray eel out of his hole. He's going, it's preposterous. No one has any microchips. It's a digital tattoo. So it's a bunch of liquid chips. It's thousands of little chips, not one chip. But all those chips line up and have hundreds of times the data a chip could have. Each one is like the old microchip. It's miniaturized. Remember the old days when one song would take up half the room on your computer 20 years ago? Now you can have 1 million songs on your computer? And so he's all over the news saying, I've got implantable digital ink we're going to inject in you in the vaccine, after you get the vaccine, in a patch we put on you that puts it into your skin. But then he's separately going, oh, I'm a victim, and Fauci's a victim, and they're talking mean about us and lying and saying we're involved at Wuhan, and we're involved with Epstein, and we're involved with microchips proving you've had vaccines, and we're involved in forced inoculations. And then all of his writers and the official Microsoft website and BBC and AP and Reuters are all, you're going to have a digital tattoo proving you had the shot before you can fly on an airplane or eventually have a job, and contact tracers are coming to your house, and we need to take your kids away from you.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. But you can only find it. Well, I find them on band.com, bandvideo.com, but I'm sure people are uploading this stuff to YouTube still somewhere. I just don't know how long it lasts. That algorithm, you know. Unhinged Portland single mommy complains she has to protest every night to the feds. Okay.
Tired of this. I am so tired. I'm sleep deprived because I'm a single mom and I work full time and I have to come and spend my nights with you because I can't stand in my own streets and say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. That's why we're here. We're not here because of some building. We don't care about the building. We don't care about your stupid fence. We care about Black lives. And I'm a mom, and I heard George when he called out Mama. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because George called out for his mama. You all have moms. Your mom loves you. George's mom loved him. And my kids love me, and I want to go home to them. But they agree that this is important. And it's not about some white ladies. It's not about me. It's about Black Lives Matter. There's so many amazing Black women who've been doing this fight for years, and I showed up late. I'm so tardy to this party. But
Fully programmed, 100%. And there's tons of them out there. Tons of them that took the bait. They took the bait. If she's being honest here, if this is a real story. But I do believe there's lots of people like this. They took the bait. And finally, they have something they can stand for. Well, what can you do with a programmed society? Grab the popcorn, I guess. Check this out. This says that now she knows, don't kick a federal officer. Indeed. Although, you know, all this stuff is being prepped for the Christians. That's the whole madness of this. It's all happening anyway. It's all coming out. And we know that ultimately it's coming for us. So all these things that they're saying that Trump is doing, which he's not, will be done in the future. How the mainstream keeps talking about when he sends the federal police out there to take care of these monuments or these federal buildings or to try to stop the chaos. All the mainstream news is, oh my gosh, he's got secret police and military police, this evil, you know, fascist dictator, and they're coming after us. And so they're blowing it out of proportion. But I believe in the future that it'll be for us. And then when we're saying, oh my gosh, they're secret police and they're coming to get Christians, and it'll be, oh yeah, right. That was what Trump did. Trump did that. Our guy doesn't do that. He loves everybody. He's the new Jesus, after all. All right. I don't think that was a very good one. Let me see. Oh, the NFL has officially canceled all 2020 preseason games. Everything's changing, man. The new normal. It's being forced on us, but it's the new normal that is being forced on us. There you go. You know me, I don't mind, but still, And that's okay. It's actually really okay, because we know sports have just been bread and circus, if you will, right? And a lot of it's rigged anyway. So it's a good time. I mean, there's good things that'll come out of this isolation that's happening. Again, everyone's being segregated and put apart, isolated. Some people have a lot more time on their hands than they used to. Even working from home, a lot of people now. Time to think. And that's good. It can be. Depends on what happens with you and which path you choose. You know? But it's good. People need a time to think. This is a good time to start thinking and really putting it together. So I'm okay with seeing sports go bye-bye. That's me. But I know a lot of people, friends and family, that love sports, and sucks they don't get to enjoy that right now. I understand that. But it's also a big wake-up call, because everything's being affected. Everything. This is huge. Obviously, it's huge what's happening. Okay, this is interesting here. It says, confirmed, the Chinese Communist Party is putting up posters in Beijing instructing people to go underground bunkers if the alarms go off, signaling they're at war. The poster reads, how to quickly enter the wartime civil air defense facility after you hear the alarm. This is posted July 25th. You guys catch all that? Did you read that? Says the Liberty and Storm both walked off the court as the national anthem played as part of the social justice movement. So it's not showing the video anymore. It's one of those that they moved. See, you can't watch it. There you go. Oh, okay. This is the UFO thing I was thinking of earlier. Really good capture. Very strange. From Conspiracy Theories and UFO page on Twitter. Good one, though. Good one, I think. Check this out.
But that looks like a fucking UFO. Is that not? Is that not a fucking UFO? Or like a giant fucking like drone or something?
But that looks more like a man-made type, of course. Okay. Chicago Deputy Police Chief dead in apparent suicide soon after his promotion, officials say. So that got me thinking also about political assassinations. I wonder when we're going to start seeing that. When that'll be another level, the Bolshevik Revolution or the Marxist takeover. But that's another level of it, is political assassinations. People on the right or on the conservative, big names, maybe like Tucker Carlson, maybe senators, Congress people that are conservatives or whatever, who knows, but they start getting taken out at their homes and their families get wiped out. We saw that last week with the judge that's working on the Epstein case, was somehow tied in with all this. And somebody showed up to her house dressed as a FedEx driver and took out her son and her husband. And as far as I know, they still haven't caught the guy. He even left in the FedEx truck. Now you got this. A newly promoted Chicago police officer was found passed away at a police facility Tuesday from an apparent self-inflicted wound, a bang-bang wound. Deputy Chief Dion Boyd, a 30-year veteran, had been promoted less than 2 weeks ago. And then he was found dead at the department's Homan Square facility on the city's west side. Who would do that at work? That's the other thing. You got to start thinking. You got to commit suicide at work. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But it would be interesting to see if we start seeing more of this kind of a thing. People promoted to big positions even like this. This is the police in Chicago. You know, Chicago is one of the most, or it's got to be now the most violent city, not just in America, I'm sure in other parts of the world comparatively as well. It's madness out there right now. It's run by demons. So who knows? I don't know much about this man, but perhaps he was a really good guy and was really going to try to do so. I don't know. The NFL just declared war on church. A deal reached by the National Football League and NFL Players Association bans players from attending any indoor church services that are above 25% capacity. Alongside its restrictions on attending worship services, the collective bargaining agreement also prohibits players from attending indoor nightclubs and bars, except for takeout, indoor concerts, professional sports games, and indoor parties that include 15 people or more. The deal has not been publicly released, but NBC Sports made no mention of any restrictions on attending protests. Meanwhile, the NFL's Twitter account has been sharing and celebrating pictures of players engaging in protests all around the country. And there's some of those. There you go. So that's where your sports are going. Now it's full-on mind control, full-on programming. Now you're going to get your lessons. Now you'll be indoctrinated more into the New World Order religion, the New World Order political system, the new way to think, the way the hive mind thinks. It's really gross. It's happening. World Bank IMF exposed COVID aid conditional on imposing extreme lockdowns, curfews. Huge foreign loans are given to sovereign nations by the World Bank, IMF, and the likes, but the conditions that come attached to these loans are seldom told by governments to their citizens. A recent case in Belarus has exposed the conditions laid by these agencies for loans being provided for C-19. The president of Belarus has exposed that the World Bank crown virus aid comes with conditions for imposing extreme lockdowns or lockdown measures to model their crown virus response on that of Italy, and even changes in the economic policies which he refused as being unacceptable. Additional conditions which do not apply to the financial part are unacceptable for Belarus, the president said. Okay, good. He's fighting. I like it. We need more fighters. So yeah, there you go. Sure. World Bank, IMF, these Illuminati run groups, these Luciferians, to be fair. Yeah, we'll give you all the aid. We'll give you all the money, but you're going to have to impose extreme lockdowns. Got to get locked into place. Then we can move in what we're going to do for your kids in school, get everything nice and set up for you, and you'll just be a part of the program. You'll have money. Okay, we're going to give you a lot of money. You're going to have all the money you need, but you're going to have to be a part of the program. Watch. University of Florida students say founding fathers are villains rather than heroes. Of course, they've been so trained and conditioned, guys. That's why you've got gangs of these goofy kids running around out in the streets being stupid. They get nothing else to do. They can't think for themselves, some of them. It's quite a shame, I say. Oh well. Let's enjoy this together. From Campus Reform.
The founding fathers more so as villains instead of heroes. So we're here today at the University of Florida to ask students, do you think the founding fathers are heroes or villains? Let's see what they say. So a recent poll found that Americans under the age of 30, more so than any other age group, had the highest respondents of people who were willing to say that they viewed the founding fathers as villains instead of heroes. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think the founding fathers are more villains or heroes?
They were kind of the foundation of this country, I guess, and getting everything started. But most of them were racist, so they owned slaves and stuff like that. So
I would say yes and no. I think it's new times now, so we now have to make up new things. So I would say villains, yeah.
I mean, they accomplished a lot of things, but a lot of them were not very good.
Villains? They own slaves?
I would say more on the villain side, just because they were the founding fathers and they pretty much created the foundation for America, which is one of the biggest reasons we have all of these problems today and why they have not gone away.
I think, yeah, that you shouldn't idolize them and you shouldn't view them really as heroes and be able to learn from their mistakes.
I said villains because he had a good point. They own slaves and shit.
No, I don't think I'd call them heroes. I wouldn't go that far. I don't know. I don't know.
Why do you agree that the founding fathers are villains? What are some things that come to mind for you?
I'm not like a huge history freak, so I'm not going to know all the right answers for this. But just from seeing where things are going now, I think we can see that, like, I don't want to, should I mention Trump? Am I allowed to do that? A lot of them were slave owners.
Am I allowed to do that?
A lot of them believed more in the white race.
Just their moral values in general. I think moral values have changed and we see people a lot differently than we saw people back then.
On the flip side of that, you know, does anything good come to mind about the founding fathers for you, or maybe some of your peers? Can you think of a good thing that the founding fathers did?
No, I'm sorry. No. I'm sure, but that's all I'm going to say. Again, I'm not the best at history.
Can you guys think of anything good that they did at all?
No, I can't think of nothing. No, I can't think of nothing either. We're in a free country for the most part right now.
So if our founders are going to be villains, which again, a lot of younger Americans are agreeing with you guys, who should be our heroes if not the founding fathers? Does anyone come to mind for you guys?
No, no, sir.
Oh, God. Harriet Tubman. I don't know if this is making me look really bad right here, but
Not someone that I can really think of on the spot right now, but there are definitely better people that we could look up to.
Sacagawea. She led, Christopher Clark and, them around, so.
I can't think of anyone right now. I'm sorry.
Or does anyone come to mind from that time period who we should look up to as heroes?
No, I don't. No.
Here you go, guys, and you're watching America get flushed right down the toilet bowl. It was all part of the plan anyway, and they did it perfectly as far as education, what we call education. As far as education goes, all these kids are dumb as a box of hair. So there you have it. There you have it. And that's just a small glimpse of some kids in America. There's lots of them like that. Not that they all are. We'd have nothing left if they all were. There's still some good ones out there. I just feel they're heavily outnumbered. You gotta love this. Michael Robinson Obama tells a crowd that she's a sex symbol, instantly blows up in her face. Where's this video? Here it is.
I dreamed of attending the best universities and becoming a lawyer and getting an important job where I could be a leader in my community and help families like mine have a better life. But by the time I started school, I began encountering people outside of my home who had less faith in my ability to reach my goals. Teachers who didn't think that I was smart enough and would call on the boys instead of the girls, even though the girls had better grades. People who thought...
This is a man dressed as a woman, looks kind of like a woman, but this is a man that's portraying themselves as a woman telling you this story.
Who had less faith in my ability to reach my goals. Teachers who didn't think that I was smart enough and would call on the boys instead of the girls, even though the girls had better grades. People who thought a girl shouldn't have, but would ask me what kind of man I wanted to marry. As I got older, I found that men would whistle at me or make comments about how I looked as I walked down the street, as if my body were their property, as if I were an object to be commented on instead of a full human being with thoughts and feelings of my own. I began to realize that the hopes I had for myself were in conflict.
Just lies, just lying and lying. People just eating it. There's probably people with tears out in the audience right now.
That as a girl, my voice was somehow less important. That how my body looked was more important than how my mind worked. That being strong and powerful and outspoken just wasn't appropriate or attractive for a girl. And soon enough, I started to question myself. Was I too loud? Too much? Was I too bossy? Was I dreaming too big? And for years, I would lie awake at night, and those doubts would eat away at my heart. But eventually, I just got tired of always worrying about what everyone else thought of me. So I decided not to listen to the voices of those who doubted or dismissed me. Instead, I decided to listen to my own voice.
Okay, we got it. We got it. Yeah, we got it. Just lying, man. Just people just eating it up, man. Eating it up. I was at a party, a house party in Hollywood, near Hollywood. I think it was, it was near Hollywood when Obama got nominated, and I was the only person that didn't like him. I had to act a little bit like, oh yeah, hey, this is awesome, but when people were just crying, all my friends, most of my friends back then were liberal anyway, very liberal. But even at this party, there were a bunch of people from Greenpeace there. It was like a very liberal kind of group, and just people just crying, and this is incredible. It's going to change the world. Be unlike anything we've ever seen before. They were right. Not quite what they expected, I think. Trump moves to hold social media companies liable if they alter or editorialize users' speech. That's a good thing he did. Hopefully something comes out of it. Hopefully it's not just a red herring. Nothing's ever going to come out of this. Just throwing us a bone. The White House on Wednesday, it's from July 29th, from a couple days ago, said the Trump administration is moving forward now to implement a recent presidential executive order on social media ahead of testimony from top tech company executives on Capitol Hill. The Commerce Department this week filed a petition to clarify that social media companies can be held liable if they, quote, alter or editorialize users' speech, unquote. I seriously see tons of lawsuits coming towards these social media companies. I don't know how it's all going to come out. I don't know how people are going to get there, but I wonder if that could be a trajectory. And in a way, it's like, hey, why not? They may just rip it all apart and tear it all down into pieces if they wind up moving forward and launching off of this into something else and just really saying, okay, here we go. We caught you. Now we're going to tear it all apart. We'd all lose our channels, but we're still going to be around. Well, if it ever got that crazy, we'd set up another place to meet and do shows or videos or whatever else. But who knows if it'll get that nuts? Or again, what if nothing happens? We'll see. Woman becomes unhinged over a couple not wearing a mask, and she sprays them with mace. All right, good times. It's not very nice.
I want her to go to jail. Like, she assaulted my husband, and I'm angry about it.
A trip to a dog park in Ocean Beach ended with a hospital visit for one San Diego man after he was pepper sprayed. His wife says they were harassed by a woman for not, and also eating at a dog park where there's no
enjoying their quickly approached a stranger who they said harassing them.
What are you doing? You cannot be serious. You just maced him?
Witnesses in disbelief watching a man get pepper sprayed at Dusty Roads Park in Ocean Beach Thursday.
That is not okay. Not okay.
We've blurred her face because she hasn't been charged with a crime, but police do say they took a misdemeanor battery report.
I want her to go to jail. Like, she assaulted my husband, and I'm angry about it.
Ash O'Brien says she and her husband were at the park with their 3-month-old pup. They sat at a picnic table away from others and began eating their food.
If we knew that there was a no food policy, we wouldn't have brought it into the park.
That's when the woman approached them, reportedly complaining that they weren't wearing face masks and were eating at the dog park.
Automatically started saying stuff about us not wearing a mask when We were social distancing. There was nowhere, like there was no one near us. Wherever it's required, we wear it.
After an exchange of words, O'Brien says the woman walked away for a couple of minutes before coming back to the picnic table.
She just came up without saying anything and just stuck the mace can like right in front of my face. My husband, being a good guy, walked in front of her and was like, hey, calm down, like please don't do this. And then she grabbed him and just started macing him. She used the entire can on him.
The witness who shot the video tells me the woman quickly left the park after the incident, but her license plate number was captured on camera.
We drove to the hospital. He got treated.
The couple filed a police report and want the woman to be held accountable.
There you go. A mask, Karen. There they are. It's terrible. You ever been maced, pepper sprayed? I had to twice. I've been pepper sprayed, and it was both times was for work. Once when I did military law enforcement, and then when I became a bounty hunter down in Texas. So 2 times, had to do it, and you have to do it before you can carry it, like the stuff we would carry. And they wanted you to have experienced it so you can understand in case it happens again. At least you'll be somewhat prepared. And it also helps to understand what those people are going through. But it's not fun. It's not a fun experience. That much I can tell you. Check this out. More mask madness.
To quite a show at the Verizon store off Galleria Boulevard in Roseville.
It's refusing to leave, not wearing masks. They've asked several times and she's refusing.
A dispatch operator tells an officer a group of 3 people aren't wearing masks and refusing to leave the Verizon store. But it's what happened next that's jaw-dropping.
They're calling back again and advise that that female now pulled her pants down and is urinating inside the business.
Are you kidding me? That's terrible.
So it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there's bathrooms all over the place too.
Absolutely not. That's totally inappropriate. It's not. We're not animals.
Because I've seen other people who fought about the mask and did other things, actually get into physical altercations. But that's like a whole new story. That's just like who rose you up when you're young.
Gosh, are you kidding? That's like an animal. That's what my dog would do if I brought him out.
Police got to the scene and confirmed the incident, telling me they eventually arrested the woman after finding several stolen items from a nearby Dick's Sporting Goods.
But urinating on the floor, that's not something down there. It's something up here that's wrong.
Probably not too much to say other than the fact that it's probably not the right way to have a reaction to it. So simply wear the mask or just leave, I guess.
I'm very disappointed that we as society choose to have disunity and let this coronavirus divide us.
Oof. There you go. She made pee-pee.
We currently have
Woman removed from Palm Beach County meeting for not wearing mask. This is from earlier this month, July 7th, but figured I'd share.
9 members in quarantine.
Chief Durden, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know these are important public proceedings, and we're trying to inform the public of the great work Fire Rescue has been doing. But there's a woman in the 3rd row to my left that has been warned multiple times, or you're not willing to wear the mask, and I can now clearly see that you're not. This is not a venue for protest by not wearing a mask. It's not Facebook. It's not Instagram. You don't get to have breakdowns and blowouts here today. This is the real world. I'm going to ask you to either leave the chambers or put your mask on. If you're not going to put your mask on, then I'm going to ask you to leave the chambers. Ma'am, he's a police officer, okay? We don't do this. We show respect to our law enforcement officers. Please remove yourself from the chamber. Unless the majority of this board overrules me, you're not to return this chamber for 24 hours. Thank you. Chief Duren, recognized.
Sir. Madam Commissioner.
There you go. Mask madness. Speaking of madness, buckle up for this. Anyway, a friend just sent this to me a couple days ago. Excuse me. I'm going to be really watching this one and see what happens with it. It says forced vaccinations in Oklahoma. This measure passed the House last week in Oklahoma. So let's check this out. And if this is real and if this is going to happen in Oklahoma, you can expect it to happen in your state as well. I could imagine. Check this out.
Military to help out. And in the article, I know you don't reveal your sources, but I'd like you to elaborate about the metal shackles they're going to put on the wrists with the computer chip. And maybe Catherine Albrecht, you can add to that comment.
Unfortunately, I believe one among several plans to ensure that the government's edict of mandated vaccinations, and by the way, the state of Oklahoma last week passed through its House just such a law for the state of Oklahoma and its residents that everyone will be vaccinated in the state of Oklahoma. Now, having said that, there are also plans that will ensure that you do not freely travel, nor will you be able to really go anywhere without proof that you have had the vaccination at the point that the government mandates that certain levels of the population take the inoculation. When that happens, I have been told by state troopers across the country that there are plans ready to be implemented that would include roadblocks and choke points, as we call them, major interstate junctions around major cities and so forth, where the greatest number of people can be held until they are either prove their vaccination by papers, or in the case of a medical specialist in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who told me that they had observed a semi-tractor trailer being unloaded at the hospital loading dock, pallets and pallets, scores of cases of metal bracelets that once put on would slip into a place and be either pegged in there with some kind of device to hold it in place, but the band was meant to be permanent. On top is a chip. That chip will include all kinds of information about you and the fact that you have been inoculated. Now, this is one of several plans. It has not yet seen the light of day, but it is there. It's in readiness. You choose the poison. It's either slow homicide or slow suicide. They're either going to kill you with the injection, or if you go up and say, sure, I just want to be able to go wherever I want to go, and you take it, to me, that's virtual suicide. Just slow motion suicide. So we've all talked about not getting the vaccination, that's clear, but you may not have a choice. I am told that the plans include buses that will be standing by for people at roadblocks that refuse to take the inoculation. The people will then be escorted to the buses and taken, as I was told in the state I was in at that time when I was speaking to the troopers, you're going to get a free ride to a nice warm bunk at Fort Riley. Well, it's one of several plans. We can't know until they're implemented, but I assure you that those plans are in place, and law enforcement is going to be pulled in. And one of the articles I wrote, I said the law enforcement community will enforce a new world order.
We shall see. That's from July 30th, 2020. Minnesota banks want you to empty your piggy banks amid national coin shortage. Some more of that news on the coin shortage. We got the filthy money. Money is bad, and now we have a coin shortage. Universal is risking $200 million to send Tom Cruise to space. With word that Tom Cruise's Top Gun, excuse me, Maverick has been delayed to July 2nd, 2021. We'll know soon enough whether Mission Impossible. Okay, who cares? But once Cruise is done filming what could be his last two Ethan Hunt adventures, he's allegedly going into space for Doug Liman's, essentially the Tom Cruise Goes into Space for Real movie. Universal will produce and distribute the allegedly $200 million sci-fi actioner, while Christopher McQuarrie will participate as a story advisor, producer for the Lyman-directed pinned screenplay. This is a huge risk for any studio spending at least $200 million on a wholly original star concept action flick, let alone that will be shot in outer space. Okay. we'll see what comes out of this. The rest of it's a bunch of numbers and box office and Hollywood talk. Who really cares? I just thought it was kind of crazy. They're going to spend $200 million on a movie and put Tom Cruise in space. We'll see what that looks like. Some of you guys have probably seen this one by now. If not, it's been around, but it's good to see. This one just came out over the last week as well. Yeah, this is July 24th. So here we go. Bill Gates, more and more, the truth, more and more will be coming out about these vaccines. They keep adding on things. It's like when they told us the lockdown would be 2 weeks, 4 months ago. Remember? Same thing. Oh, the vaccines will be fine, And then, now we're starting to hear a little bit more about what to expect.
Side effects. The side effects for the Moderna vaccine sound concerning. We looked. After the second dose, at least 80% of participants experienced a systemic side effect, ranging from severe chills to fevers. So, are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will look hard at that. The FDA is the gold standard of regulators, and their current guidance on this, if they stick with that, is very, very appropriate. And the side effects were not super severe. That is, it didn't cause permanent health problems for the things there. Moderna did have to go with a fairly high dose, and so to get the antibodies. Some of the other vaccines are able to go with lower doses to get responses that are pretty high, including the J&J and the Pfizer. And so there's a lot of characteristics of these vaccines. It's great that we have multiple of them that are going out there. And yes, I think
you know the data better than I do. But the data showed that everybody with a high dose had a side effect.
Yeah, but some of that is not dramatic, where it's just super painful. But yes,
it's just super painful.
Not severe side effects. The FDA, I think, will do a good job of that, despite the pressure.
How many doses of the vaccine will we need?
Well, none of the vaccines at this point appear like they'll work with a single dose. That was the hope at the very beginning.
You're listening, right? I mean, it matters. You're listening. So we're beyond the single dose, okay? So this idea that, this could be a vaccine, we can all take it, and then we're good, we're clear, all good. No. He also mentioned that it could be super painful, in his own words. Have you ever heard of that YouTube channel called Bombardi's Body Language? I think she may have got demonetized on YouTube as well. I know she has a website. Maybe she's on BitChute. She's got to be on some other sites too, but she does some really interesting breakdowns of just people's body language. And she'll cover all kinds of people, politicians, celebrities, whatever's going on. But I haven't checked lately. In fact, I haven't seen anything from her in a long time. So I don't know if she's even uploading on YouTube anymore at all. But I'd like to see her do some things on Bill Gates. Maybe she already has. I just haven't seen him yet.
I think we'll do a good job of that, despite the pressure.
How many doses of the vaccine will we need?
Well, none of the vaccines at this point appear like they'll work with a single dose. That was the hope at the very beginning. Maybe one of them, particularly in the second generation, won't surprise us. We hope just 2, although in the elderly, sometimes it takes more. And so making sure we have lots of elderly people in the trial will give us that data.
Yeah. How did this guy get so much control over the world, right? If you haven't heard, the Ghislaine Maxwell documents have been unsealed. People have been posting all kinds of things all over the place. Here's something I found. It's called the readreaderapp.com. Technofrog. This has 34,000 views, so people have been watching this. We'll kind of go through some of this stuff. Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, being Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand man, if you will. right-hand woman. So I'll just kind of look at the yellow highlighted stuff, and this is apparently from a victim. It says Epstein also sexually trafficked the then minor Jane Doe number 3, making her available for sex to politically connected and financially powerful people. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, Miss Maxwell, Jean-Luc Brunel, and Alan Dershowitz. I just saw a video not long ago of Alan Dershowitz. He's an attorney, I believe, a fairly famous attorney, leftist type attorney. But I saw a video of him talking about the COVID stuff, and of course pushing the agenda, pushing mask agenda and all that stuff, so I shouldn't be surprised. Here it says the trafficking scheme was international in scope. In France, Ghislaine Maxwell ordered her to give an erotic massage to a French hotel magnate. Deposition from the victim. It says, I was ordered by Ghislaine to go and give him an erotic massage. Where did you have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain in France around the time of Naomi Campbell's birthday party? And Naomi Campbell's billionaire boyfriend many years ago bought her an island with a structure on the island. And if you look at the structure from the top, it's the all-seeing eye. Okay, we got it. Let's see what else we got here. A bunch of stuff, man. Stuff's interesting, all of it. It's interesting that some of this has come out. And anyway, there you go. It's really nothing to kind of highlight, but just want to let you know that these are out there. If you want to try to find the documents, you can. A lot of people are posting these things. This is another bit that's been released here. And this is from that victim. It says, okay, there was Naomi Campbell, Heidi Klum, there was Bill Clinton, there was Al Gore, there was a whole bunch of models. I wouldn't really honestly be, Al Gore is the one that many years ago was telling us we had like 9 years left until global warming destroyed the earth. And that was like 30 years ago. There was Al Gore. There was a whole bunch of models. I wouldn't really honestly be able to give their names. Now here's one. There was Matt Groening, the producer of the Simpsons cartoon. I've heard that one before too, that he's connected to these people, and not surprised. Now is it starting to make more sense why the Simpsons quote predicts so many things that happen? Well, he's an insider. You know, Matt Groening's an insider. Jacques Cousteau's granddaughter. Jacques Cousteau was really big into eugenics and Mother Earth and Gaia and wiping out large portions of humanity. But he's this loved, explorer, and Jacques Cousteau. His granddaughter, a lot of interior designers, architects, and politicians. I'm just trying to think of as many names as possible for you off the top of my head. That's as good as I can get for now. Okay, all right, that's fine. And again, I am not implying by my... Wait, that's the person questioning. Here's the victim again. Okay, it was a lot of the same thing that went down on the ground. A lot of times it would be just me and Jeffrey, or me and Jeffrey and Ghislaine, or me and Jeffrey and some other girl, sometimes Emmy, Sarah, or Nadia. There would be sexual conduct. There would be foreplay. Okay, I was hoping there would be some more celebrity names there. Anyway, just a little bit, another piece of that, if you want to look some of that up. Here we go. Gross out Obama. Never liked this guy. Never did. Still don't. There's so many crazy connections with him and fascinating symbols you can find around him and demonic things that have happened with him. Remember the flies? Lord of the Flies, Obama? All those times the flies just stick to him and follow him around. The whole thing with Tutankhamun. Or is it Akhenaten? Yeah, the whole thing with Akhenaten and the possible connection to Obama there. The lies in the birth certificate. The fact that nobody really knows who is this guy. Barry Soetoro, got that too. Michael Robinson married to. The first gay president, they called him. All the numbers around him, even the strange things with his slogan, yes, we can. You can go look up videos. You can do it for yourself. Get an app on your phone where you can record your voice, say, yes, we can, and play it backwards. It says, thank you, Satan. All this. It's interesting. Anyway, of course, he's going to pipe in. This is during a eulogy from John Lewis. He was some political figure that recently passed away. And this is what Obama had to say.
But even as we sit here, there are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting by closing polling locations.
He's doing that fake accent too. It makes me so sick. These people are so fake. Remember Hillary? All those clips you can find of Hillary talking in front of black crowds typically, or if she's in the South, she'll, we ain't gonna do that no more. We ain't even know what we do. I mean, you see these people, seriously, this is how they view the red or the middle. This is how they view anything that's in the middle, the flyover states. And that's how they talk to these people. That's how they treat them. That's how they talk to them. It was sickening. You see some of this stuff, but people still love. I think people are waking up more and more now to it. But a lot of the black community in particular, was all about Hillary for many years. And of course, Obama, a lot of them loved Obama, but a lot of them are waking up now. You see it all the time now. They get it, But this guy, we ain't gonna do no thing. We ain't. I mean, you look up this stuff with Hillary and her using her accent in front of a Southern crowd or a black crowd. Maybe it was a black church. Look it up. You'll see what I mean. We ain't gonna. It's just absolute madness. Anyway, here's Obama. Listen to his fake accent trying to act like this powerful speaker. I don't know. You'll see what I mean. It just doesn't sound like him.
But even as we sit here, there are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting by closing polling locations and targeting minorities and students with restrictive ID laws and attacking our voting rights with surgical precision.
It's mail-in voting he's pushing for, by the way. I'll still play it. But he's pushing for mail-in voting, of course, and that's one of the ways they believe they're going to, steal the election. Just give it to Biden. Here's Biden. Here's your corpse of a president. And, of course, it'll ultimately wind up being whoever his VP is, most likely, and I believe that's Kamala Harris. So how about President Kamala Harris, who openly admits to hating America? That perfectly falls right into place. Now, I don't think it's going to go. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'm still, a side of me still waiting on Obama and has been waiting on him to enter the scene again in a big way. We'll see. I don't know. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of, you can have a lot of interesting debate about him. I do believe he definitely could be the embodiment eventually of the beast from the pit. And I've talked for years in other videos and speculated some other things. I've hypothesized other possibilities. There's Maitreya. There's the whole alien agenda. But then there's that interesting video from UNICEF many years ago that's hard to find now. Not the one with the alien in the classroom, but there's one with an ethereal-looking alien being, kind of like a Pleiadian, visiting Obama and working with him towards world peace. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this.
Laws and attacking our voting rights with surgical precision, even undermining the Postal Service in the run-up to an election that's going to be dependent on mail-in ballots so people don't get sick.
What a con man. It's such a con man. Statement from the press secretary regarding the implementation of President Trump's executive order on preventing online censorship. All right, that's something I was looking up earlier. More hydroxychloroquine. Use an executive order to make here we go. Use an executive order to make hydroxychloroquine available over the counter for treatment prevention of COVID-19. I brought this up earlier because there happens to be a petition about it. So if you'd like to sign it, I haven't done it yet, but here it is. This is on petitions.whitehouse.gov, and it's use an executive order to make hydroxychloroquine available for over-the-counter treatment prevention of C-19. This is from July 29th, a couple days ago. So far, over 11,000 have signed. But if this is something you'd like to get into, maybe share it with groups of yours. Maybe we can do something with this, So please check it out, look it up, and share it. SRA, satanic ritual abuse and human sacrifice, is not something new to the last 100 years. Says the Canaanites and Amorites were sacrificing their infants. Most of y'all know this, but I figured I'd share. From Psalm 106. Says they even sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons and shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus they were defiled by their own works. See that in America. There's this one here. There were 10 doctors on the Supreme Court steps. Why is every liberal attacking just the black one and her culture? Apparently this doctor here has some pretty wild beliefs that have to do with demon sperm and the aliens and all kinds of stuff. I haven't looked a whole lot into that. It's just something I've seen in some stories as I've been kind of passing through things through the last week or so. I need to look more into it. I wanted to show soon with Jeff C. again, because I know he's been looking into it. So that'd be good to have him on and talk about that, as well as a bunch of other stuff. But we shall see. So we'll see what happens. But she was associated with that group about hydroxychloroquine. Tom Hanks and Reed Wilson are officially Greek citizens. I don't know what this means. So a lot of theories out there on him actually being arrested, him and his wife being arrested, and some people think he's in. I don't think he's in Gitmo. I mean, he seems to be in Greece. But anyway, just thought I'd share that because I know there's a lot of people interested in Tom Hanks. I did a video on him recently. There are a lot of strange things about him, for sure. I wasn't going so much with as much of the Q-type stuff. I kind of went my own direction. But comes from the top. Brad Garrett calls out Ellen DeGeneres after she blamed her staff in her apology and claims it's common knowledge that she treats people horribly. Once again, good to see them eating their own. Kanye West breaks his silence days after tearful wife Kim Kardashian left him alone in Wyoming and claims his tears at that rally over abortion were not a meltdown, then hence he's being destroyed. He's just another one we need to keep an eye on, this one. I was hoping there'd be some video of this. Look at this, though. This is from Kanye West. He shared this on July 31st, so he shared it today. Planned Parenthood removing Margaret Sanger's name from NYC clinic. This is good. Now, see, that's good. I know he's a wild card. He really is. But I love this. I'm glad he's bringing that to people's awareness, especially the black community. Hopefully, the younger black people are seeing this. It's really important. Margaret Sanger, the mother of the grandmother of Planned Parenthood. Yeah, see, I mean, this is good stuff, right? I see it as complicated. Some people are like, no, he's just totally evil. You know, he's in the all-seeing eye in Joel Osteen's church. I showed you guys that, I know. But he's a really interesting one to watch, and we will be. Eventually, I'll make another video on him once I just start putting stuff together and thinking about it more. But he's quite the character, he is, that Kanye West. Speaking of Tom Hanks' voice to be added to Oakland A's artificial crowd noise. This is so dystopian, these pictures of these. Look at this. Of these ball games now. These are your ball games, guys. And we might as well. It also reminds me of that post-human existence. It's just cardboard cutouts of people here. Tom Hanks has been an A-list actor for nearly 40 years now, but before he cracked the big-time Oakland, California raised, Tom Hanks worked a part-time job as a hot dog vendor at games involving his hometown team, the Oakland A's. And the 64-year-old is set to reprise that early role, excuse me, with the two-time Oscar-winning thespian set to add his voice to the baseball franchise's home game ambiance this season. So let's check this out. I guess this is what it's going to sound like. Hey, I can't get to the audio here. Maybe it's just pictures. Okay. I don't care about all that. There you go. All right. Kind of weird, kind of creepy, especially the whole connection with hot dogs. Remember Obama paid, what is it, $16,000 for hot dogs for some group to come to the White House. The hot dogs. We know hot dogs is a code word as well, right? Some believe this, some don't, but it's a code word for little boys, I believe. Some kinds of pedo type code word. All right, there we have it. Tom Hanks. Science fraud. Florida Governor DeSantis calls for investigation into why people are testing positive for crown virus tests they never received. All right, of course. And we'll end with the dragon. The claim is, this is from July 29th, a couple days ago, the Beijing National Archaeological Survey research team has found the remains of a dragon. Dr. Zen, it says. 15-second clip. I'll play it a few times. Decide for yourself. There you go. There you have it for your consideration. And that actually concludes all of my stories for this week. There we go. And we're back. Hey guys, thank you. Now I'm over here in the chat just saying hi. Thank you guys so much for being here, man. I appreciate you guys spending some time with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the stories. Maybe you found some things you want to share with other people. That'd be great. And thank you for the moderators as well. As always, of course, a big shout out to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. If you'd like to support my work, please check the links below. I also have a link for a couple sponsors. One is Bravo. It's a free download, or not Bravo, Brave. Brave is a free download. And excuse me, I really highly suggest using it. I've been using it for a long time. Free download, and you'll get DuckDuckGo with it, and you can avoid Google, which I highly recommend avoiding Google. I also have my Patriot Supply. You can get a 2-week supply of food, 25-year shelf life for under $100, or you can get a 4-week supply, 25-year shelf life for under $200. It's a couple of the deals they have going on there, so check that out. Other than that, I like to leave these shows with a short prayer, guys. So if you don't mind, I'll just say, Heavenly Father, thanks so much for all these great people, and thanks for this gathering and this get-together, and I really appreciate that we can all come together and just talk about all these things happening in the world. It's really going kind of crazy right now, and try to keep things in perspective, hopefully, for all of us. And just always remember that you're there with us, and that you're guiding us and protecting us and helping us. And just thank you for that. And for those who don't know Christ or don't have Christ, Lord, I help you're guiding all of those people as well to the very simple gift that it is. The simplicity is brilliance, of course, just to accept Christ. That's it. Now's the time. Accept him as your personal Lord and Savior. Accept his sacrifice. And get on board, get the Holy Spirit, start talking to you more. And Lord, that's what I pray for those people who still haven't found you. Thanks again, though, just for being with us, Lord, and guiding us in these times. Don't let us slip into fear. Help us to keep things in perspective, and thank you. I love you, and in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys, there we go, man. It was another Friday night. It's been good. It's been a busy few days over here for me. I've got some more stuff coming out over this next week. So thanks again, as always, guys, just for your encouragement, your prayers, for watching the videos, checking out the shows, sharing everything. I really appreciate you. So y'all take care. Have a great weekend, all right? And I'll talk to you here real soon.